All right. THL, Dark Side here, hosting tonight's Friday Night Fights. With me, I got my co-host and some guy I kind of like a little bit. Donde, what's going on, buddy?
Not much. How are you doing tonight, Darkseid?
Oh, just doing the do, making sure it stays in Vegas. You know, they tell you that what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but they don't tell you the lengths you'll have to go through to keep it there. All right,
You
then.
know, I got nothing. I got nothing.
So we got some exciting Hearthstone tonight. We got the first match of Ragnaros League Finals between Team Next Level and Collective Mayhem. We got Sazuru
No.
versus Steffi. Oh,
Vote no
that's right. It
confidence
is
there.
not Collective Mayhem. My bad. I'm dumb. It is vote of no confidence. I forgot to update that. Don't yell at me, Steffi. I'm sorry.
This could be why they have no confidence.
I'll throw her a sub on her Twitch channel to say I'm sorry. Okay, vote of no confidence. I don't know if I spelled confidence right, and I don't really care at this second. But yeah, so we got the first match between Team Next Level and Vote of No Confidence. We had Steffi versus Sazuru, which is a really important match. You want to be the team that leads off well. If losing that first match is crucial. It's winning that first match is crucial, rather I should say, because you've been in the Discord where the first match comes in as a loss, and it's like, we're starting behind, 2 or 3 points or whatever, and the rest of the team feels like they got to climb a mountain, and it's not good for morale.
I definitely want to keep morale high. And like you said, it's very important to come out with that first win. And it should be a good fight between the two seeds.
Mhm.
And yeah, I'm excited to get to that one later. But we definitely have an exciting undercard, so to speak, first.
Yeah, we got Imposition, who's like a mainstay on these streams, I feel like. We get Impo just about every week versus Cinder Ascendant. Cinder is he's just doing MCL this season. I don't think I saw him in Rag. He might have been in Sylv, but I don't know if we've had him on stream yet on a Friday night fight. So this will be a first time for me getting to cast Cinder. But let's take a look at their decks. Let's start with Imposition. Let's look at his lineup. And first off, I'm going to apologize for how gross that Warlock deck list looks. I apologize. I was missing the Rat Catchers because, who owns Rat Catcher? Imposition does, but besides Imposition, who owns Rat Catcher? And I didn't have it. So I had to improvise and use like a deck codes website that would make that for me. So apologies out of the way there. Let's get into his lists. So first off, we got the Sweet New Hotness Big Druid, which Nick, our one seed, showed us this deck a few weeks ago. And I know, Dante, you're a huge fan of this list.
You made this joke last week, too.
It's not a joke.
I'm just not going to even qualify it with a response.
There's no response. Nick showed us this deck, and then Dante got salty because, somehow Dante was like the pioneer of this deck, like the first person to ever play it. And like he just wanted like credit of being like a Hearthstone god and making this deck. I don't know, whatever.
Hashtag Raynad.
Hashtag Raynad. Dante invented Hearthstone, guys. But yeah, it's just your standard list. He's got the double greedy spite for ramp. He's running the Bright-Eyed Scouts. Nothing really interesting in this list with the exception of like the Drakari Enchanter, but you see that a lot because the Master Oakheart will pull that and the Dragon Hatcher, and then the Dragon Hatcher will pull 2 dragons. Seems good.
Yeah, I think the main thing with this list is for most people is whether or not you play 1 or 2 Drakari Enchanters, since it's a great pull from Master Oakheart, but otherwise essentially a dead card that you never want to play from hand.
Never.
What are you possibly going to combo it with? It's just a 3-mana 1/5 that is probably going to die.
Yeah, I agree. It's not good. Like Master Oakheart makes like really good cards broken. Like
True.
Drakari Enchanter coming off of Master Oakheart broken. Drakari Enchanter played from hand. It's whatever.
Yeah. You never want to have to play from hand, but yeah, Oakheart is definitely the key to this deck, as we all know. Tarantus is interesting too because that's a card that some people have played in this deck, some people have not. It is a 12/12, but doesn't have an effect when it hits the field right away. So
It
uh,
doesn't. But Mage can't remove it without
Voodoo
Voodoo
Doll.
Dolls. But you could bait out the Voodoo Dolls pretty easily before that hits.
Well, there are tons of targets. I mean, there's so many things that you would need to possibly remove before it even gets to the board. So I've seen some people running just the original Deathwing because it does actually have an effect that you can also get off of Dragon Hatcher. So there's options, but Tarantus is definitely a common pick for the deck.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the Tarantus in the deck. He's got the Devilsaur Egg Druid, which this is a really interesting list. He's got the Void Rippers and the Defender of Argus in his list. If you're like Void Rippers plays kind of like a double function. It can help get through big fat taunts, but also if you've got a bunch of Devilsaur eggs chilling on the board, it flips the Devilsaur eggs into 5/5s. So it's pretty cool to do that. And then Argus, you could just make it so that you can attack with your eggs, which is pretty. I mean, those cards definitely aren't standard, but they probably have a home in the deck. I don't know how many eggs you want to make, though. Like me personally, I'm always cubing the Devilsaurs, not necessarily the eggs. But what do you think about this list here with going with the Void Ripper route instead of stuff like Terror Scale? Well, he's got the Terror Scale Stalkers. Never mind.
It's definitely a nice feature. Like you said, it's another way to activate the eggs, though it does permanently kill the eggs, so you can't play dead them or cube them. And yeah, in general, you do want to be cubing the 5/5s that come out of the eggs, but sometimes you just got to get a little tempo on board. You cube the egg, gives you a 4/6 and a 5/5s. Not a bad outcome.
Yeah. With this being as taunt heavy of a meta as it is, I like the Void Rippers. Because sometimes there's just walls of taunts you can't fight through, and it's nice. It's like 3 mana, deal 8 damage to a Sleepy Dragon. That's pretty cool. I like that. So I don't think he's going to see a lot of Sleepy Dragons in this list in this matchup. So Void Ripper might only be there to, flip his eggs into Devilsaurs, but that's still a pretty nice function. We're only briefly going to talk. I know you were excited about this. So I'll let you take the lead on this Murloc Mage. We're not going to see it in action, but go ahead.
Well, I do love the Murloc Mage. I've played it quite a bit, and there's something just there's so much fun about just overrunning your opponent so quickly with Murlocs. I guess I would not say it's fun to be on the receiving end of that beatdown, but when you curve into, Murloc into Murloc War Leader, it's just there's nothing better than that. But unfortunately, yeah, we're not going to get to see that tonight as it was banned.
Yeah, it was banned, so we're not going to see it. But it was an interesting list. Had the Fungal Mancers. Gross. Now, this Warlock list is the jankiest Warlock list I've ever seen in my life, and I love it. Like, I absolutely love it. It's kind of like a zoo cube. What is this list, dude?
I mean, it's definitely more a zoo list than anything else, but it has mid-range staying power with Skull of the Minari into Void Lord as a possibility, and Doom Guards, of course, to make it so that you can play them without the downside. There's definitely, it's an interesting list for sure. I really don't know how it's going to play.
So the thing with this list is there's a couple things I like about it, right? He's got the Rat Catchers and the Sanguine Revelers as kind of like pseudo dark packs, right? It's gonna pop a minion, so it could pop a Devilsaur's Egg, it could pop a cube. Whatever else you need to. That's it, though. Those are the only things he's going to have, because I don't think he has the. No, he doesn't have the. What's the recruit minion? What am I looking for? The
Possessed Lackey.
Possessed Lackey, thank you. Wow, that was bad.
Yeah, in a zoo style deck, just playing a 6 mana 2/2 is probably not the idea of a good time.
So, is this like a tempo Warlock? I don't even know what to call this.
I mean, it definitely seems to be, because it's not running Hellfire or Defile, so it's not really concerned with board clears, of course, which is something that you see with the Zoo Warlocks. They only have Soulfire as the only spell in the deck, so there's no clears whatsoever. This one does have the Spellstones, though.
Yeah, it does. If Impo wins this matchup, this is going to be the feature of our post-match conversation with him, is this deck. Because this deck is insane.
I'm very interested to see if he gets through with this deck.
Yeah. And it plays like Q block, right? It's got the same end game as Q block. Either you make a bunch of Void Lords or you make a bunch of Doom Guards and you kill your opponent with Blood Reaver Gul'dan. But I don't know, man. We'll let to see where that goes. But let's take a look at our boy Cinder's decks real quick. He's got the standard Big Spell Mage. Nothing really too special going on with this Big Spell Mage. It's pretty much, just the standard list. There's not really too many flex spots in this deck where you can get creative with. Interesting. He does have the Questing Adventurer in his Miracle deck. Have you been seeing Questing in Miracle decks recently?
Not in the Miracle decks that I've come across lately. It was popular right after HCT because I know that a couple people did play it, but I haven't seen it much lately. Just the Henchland Thugs.
Yeah. So that's interesting. He's still got the double Hench Clan Thugs. He just cut an SI agent for the Questing. We'll have to see how that plays out for him. But other than that, just a pretty standard Miracle list. The Shaman, he's going all in on the combo here. He's got the Murmuring Elemental, and he's got some anti-aggro tools, and the Wild Pyromancer, Earth Shock, just the Wild Pyro cheap minions. He's only got the one Life Drinker, but he is playing Hemet. How do you feel? I'm torn. Me personally, I don't like the Murmuring Elemental variant because it doesn't really get there a lot of the times, and he doesn't have the minion that makes your elementals cheaper. So you can never really combo this with your full mana Shutterwalk. It's only with the 1 mana Shutterwalks.
I'm trying to think of what you would ideally want to Murmuring Elemental, aside from obviously something like Hagatha or Shutterwalk. Glacial Shard could be nice in an anti-aggro situation. Definitely could slow the opponent down. I don't know. It doesn't. It definitely isn't the standard that you see typically,
Mm-hmm.
And having one Life Drinker instead of 2 is not the standard either. So it'll be interesting to see if that is still effective.
Yeah, because Life Drinker is what really makes the train go. You can miss. I don't even think he has Zola the Gorgon.
No, there's no Zola.
There's no Zola, so
and
he's
because Murmuring, there's no Keleseth either.
right. So he's all in on getting to that combo and getting it off. Now I do like the Black Knight in this list because sometimes big fat taunts can get in your way, and the Black Knight's just like extra removal for him. I kind of like that if you gotta you're out of your hexes and someone drops like a Lich King, well then you can take care of it. So I do like the Black Knight, especially in this matchup when you're going against Big Druid. That's gonna help. But yeah, I mean, Life Drinker makes it go. So if Life Drinker's the bottom card of your deck, what do you do?
Yeah, it's definitely a concern. The redundancy of having 2 is very helpful to make sure the combo gets off on time. Though I think one thing that will help him out a little bit is that Imposition doesn't have any decks that are just full all-out aggro, other than that mage that we're not going to see.
And the Hunter.
Yes, the Hunter, I guess you qualify that more as a mid-range, though
Yeah.
It does have the tendency to spiral out of control very quickly.
It's pretty aggressive, and that Zoo list he has is pretty aggressive too.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I think that might be the key deck for Cinder if he can get that through.
Yeah, and then the last list we have for him is this Warlock list, which is just your standard even Warlock. He's got the Stubborn Gastropods in there, which you don't see too often, but I really like having them in the deck. And he's got the Black Knight. So, the Stubborn Gastropods are really there for, for me personally, the mirror. Because if you could drop down the Gastropod, then they can't Mountain Giant on 3, so... But
I do prefer the Gastropod variant myself.
Yeah.
And I've in my personal laddering experience, I've eschewed the Doomsayers from my deck as they tend to just pop eggs.
Yeah. Now they're just popping eggs, and it's really annoying. Or they'll pop lackeys. You'll drop a Doomsayer, someone will be like, "Okay, I have a lackey for you." It's stupid.
One thing we did not mention is that Cinder's Rogue was actually banned, so we won't really get to see the effect of the questing adventure.
I was so hoping for that.
I know, a little disappointing.
Okay.
One thing I do notice, if you look at 2 of the 3 decks we're seeing, both running Skulking Geist, the Big Spell Mage, and the Warlock, that's going to get a lot of work done against Imposition's lists.
And you ran the matchup chart for it, and it looked like Cinder might be a little bit favored in this matchup, but You know, you had the Alunath Mage, or that you had in there as the Murloc Mage, was red, green all the way across the board for Impo. Now that that's banned, I think Cinder's got the upper hand in this matchup just based off of Vicious Syndicate data and win rates.
Yeah, we were talking about the Shutterwalk Shaman, and as it stands of what we see on the VS deck list, it's a pretty poor matchup for Imposition, or I should say for Cinder.
Yeah, I'm gonna get the message out to them to queue ahead, and we'll get the show rolling. But thank you everyone for tuning in. Definitely appreciate it. It's always fun to do these streams, and it wouldn't be possible without you guys tuning in and watching it. So I really appreciate you guys. All right, Donde, any final thoughts while we're waiting for Cinder and Imposition to hit the road here?
I'm excited. I think this is going to be a good series. I know last week, unfortunately, we did witness a sweep at the hands of Imposition to Finnick Dare. So I think we're going to see a little bit more Hearthstone tonight.
Dad sweep. Yeah, that was like the fastest Hearthstone match I've ever seen.
And the fact that we only had one last week did kind of make it a short stream.
I wasn't complaining. I was like, Dark gets a Friday night off. I was stoked.
You mean this isn't a Friday night off for you? Don't you have like 11 kids?
I mean, I have 3. Thank you. But, I could be playing WoW, but instead I'm like, here talking about Hearthstone with a bunch of adults. It's pretty cool.
I mean, I could be playing WoW too if it was 2008.
You know what, dude? I just discovered WoW. Chill. Alright, so they're hopping in. I'll switch the screens once we get over there. But we're going to have Cinder on the bottom, Live Imposition on the top. I'm really excited to see this Warlock from Imposition. I don't even know what it does. Like, if I'm just being 100% honest with you. And we're not going to see that. The first match we're going to get up here is Mage versus Hunter. We're almost there, boys. I appreciate your patience. I'm just waiting for everything to flip, and then we will transition. All right, so we're in. Oh, he's opening up with the Egg and the Void Ripper. That's huge for Imposition.
Yeah, I think he probably pitches back the Serenite.
Yeah, I don't even think you want to keep the Void Rippers right now. Like, because honestly, for me anyways, the Void Rippers, like, removing the eggs from the board makes your board susceptible to being wiped. Whereas if you have the egg on the board, Cinder's got to think twice about wiping your board. Because he's going to take whatever's off your board and then put eggs back, and then put Devil Swords on your board.
So we see double Doomsayer for Cinder too. As we talked about in the lead up, that is just going to kill an egg most likely, but that actually might be something Cinder's okay with. If you take the egg off the board, then you can't get the synergies out of Play Dead and all the other the redundancies for the Death Rattle that Imposition will have.
Yeah, if you're in position, you want to keep the eggs on the board. You don't want the eggs to come off the board. That's what you want to do in these control matchups. Make them think twice about clearing your board out. He could tracking honestly here, and I think I would be inclined to do so. I think you really want to tear Scale Stalker in the next to play on 4. I think you want to get an egg down on 3.
Yeah, I think that definitely would be my decision as well. Obviously, you don't want to burn any great cards, so it is a risk to run tracking out there and then lose one of your key cards like Rexar. If obviously there's probably not too many worlds where he tosses Rexar if it shows up in the 3.
Yeah, I mean, if it's going to happen, I mean, the risk of burning key cards off of a tracking is the same no matter what turn you played, unless you're holding that card in your hand. So, I mean, I guess you could play it on 4. There's no rush to play it, right? Because Terrascale Stalker is a 3-mana card, so you could still play it on 4.
And I think Cinder recognizes the possibility of the egg coming down into Doomsayer there and just decides to ping. There's no need to waste the Doomsayer right out of the way.
Yeah, and there's no minions you're really blocking at 3 anyways. Like, usually you would play a Doomsayer on an empty board to block a minion from coming down. Don't see what Hunter has at that 3 slot to block. Interesting. He's got a decision to make in position.
He's definitely playing this a little bit slower than you want to be playing it, especially against a controlling deck like Big Spell Mage.
Yeah. Yep, but he had the decision there between, do I play the chain gang, just get tempo on the board, or do I hunt for my combo pieces and start making double soars? I don't know what the right call is, but I think the chain gangs are just fine.
I think the chain gangs are better there early, since you know later in the game, the later this goes, the more board clears the Cinder's going to draw, and 2/3s are just going to get wiped out by literally any board clear he's got except for Blizzard, and even then it can be mopped up with pings afterwards. So
yeah,
I think that's a fine play, and the pickup of the Skulking Geist is huge for Cinder. I think that's a must play on 6 if there's no opposition to it.
I think you coined that out on 5.
It's very possible too. Yeah, you want to deny any sort of extra draw, any sort of synergy with the play dead, and the fact that he's holding 2 trackings in his hand, that could just crush him right away.
Yeah, that would be insanely good for Cinder to get rid of those trackings, play deads. He's not running Spell Hunter, so he doesn't have the arcane shots, but it's still getting rid of 4 cards right off the bat is huge, especially when their cards as important as play dead.
Yeah, I mean, the only other options he would have next turn would obviously be the Dragon's Fury, which he does not want to do right now, and he could play Stonehill into, a Pang or 2-drop if he picks up a 2-drop. But yeah, I think that the Coin Skulking is the play.
Yeah, I like it. And then if you're in position, like, you could still just, keep developing a slow board. You do have the option of tracking this turn. You could tracking and still play your Argus. And then that can really force Cinder into his decision, like, does he want to clear this board and give me a 5/5, or does he want to try to deal with it in other ways?
Yeah, I think keeping the egg alive is the best course for imposition. Like, keep it alive as long as possible, obviously, to hold off any sort of board clears that are going to absolutely be coming every other turn as we get later into the game.
Yeah, and he's going to get to push some damage here. It's only 3... I shouldn't say only 3 damage, but it's going to be 3 damage, which is going to be, damage is damage. He's going to make the trade. I mean, your opponent would have been happy making that trade. I mean, you could have easily put that to face.
Well, I think here that, the odds of some of these minions living this turn, it's pretty high. Though we don't see the Skulking Geist, which would have guaranteed he takes damage next turn.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously you don't want to take too much damage as it is a valuable resource, but I don't think that 8 damage is going to be the difference in losing the game.
Can he clear out this Doomsayer right here? I mean, he could Void Ripper.
A Void Ripper takes care of everything.
Yeah, you Void Ripper. Well, first you play dead, right? You play dead, then you Void Ripper, and then you can hit with your weapon into the 1/4 and push so much damage. But then you have a board that can be mopped up.
Yeah, this is definitely going to make Cinder feel bad not coining out that Skulking Geist, because this is pretty much an immediate punish.
Is he thinking about not playing the Void Ripper? No, I think he's going to put it down. Like, there's no other way to get through. I think he's just doing some quick mental math.
Yeah, pretty much the play you suggested there definitely makes sense, and he gets a nice clean clear with the candle shot, and he's going to push quite a bit of damage.
Yep. Hunter mains, unite!
And I think this puts us in a position where that Dragon's Fury has to come down here, or he could coin... no, coining into Flamestrike doesn't do anything because you're not going to kill either of those 5/5s.
And you just got to hope and pray you don't get the polymorph.
Yep, it's not, so he's going to have a nice full board clear there. And that Witchwood Grizzly is not useful right now with the amount of cards, and it will probably continue to not be very useful for...
hopefully he finds an egg off of this tracking. Oof. Well, that's one of those hands you don't want to see, but the cube is... oh, man. I think you... I don't know.
Well, I don't think Void Ripper is as necessary in this matchup, so I think you can safely say that that's not the pick.
Yeah.
Cube or Playdead, I mean, Playdead plays into the Geist, which in position knows that Cinder's running. So I'm tempted to say Cube here would be my choice.
Yeah, I mean, if you know that your opponent has the Gulk, the Skulking Geist. Wow. All right, he took the play dead, which could get
I guess
punished.
if you get the egg here, he gets the egg and he can immediately play the play dead.
Yep. You have to take the egg, homie.
Now.
I hope he doesn't decide to hold. Oh no, he's gonna throw out the Grizzly. A 5-mana 3/3? I don't know about that.
I mean, there's no situation where that's really going to get a lot of value this game, since Cinder is going to try and have cards in his hand all game long.
Yeah.
But I think this is probably the best time of any to get that Skulking Geist down. I mean, if we've already missed a couple turns where it could have come down, it looks like he's not going to do that.
Yep, now we're going to see the egg go off, the stalker go off, a play dead go off.
I mean, maybe he feels comfortable with the amount of removal he's got in his hand and knowing that Imposition is low on cards and already used both trackings.
I mean, the Skulking Geist did contest the board pretty well. But now that you're about to see both play deads come out, there's really no point in playing it at this point for any type of value. It's just going to be a tempo card.
It's missed at this point. Yeah, it's just a body now.
I only like him for his body. I think he's thinking about holding on to the play dead. I don't see any reason why you would want to hold on to the play dead. I mean, that's your last cube, so there's really, like, that's your last egg. So if that egg dies, I don't see where you get value out of that play dead anymore.
Catherine is still in the deck as well.
But the beasts that it would pull are all going to be gone, right? It just has one King Crush, one Witchwood Grizzly?
It was only one of each, right?
Yeah, I had to pull his deck list back up, but I don't think he had more beasts than that. He has one King Crush, two Witchwood Grizzlies, and that's it. So, yeah, I mean, the Catherine is not really a huge point of, like, you know, got to get value out of that play dead.
That's very true. I mean, just looking at where we are in the game right now, I mean, I don't think that there's too many ways the Imposition can come out of this without pulling off maybe your Rexar pretty soon.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to find the Rexar.
Yeah, I think this is the point where Cinder's going to turn the corner. I mean, that Arcane Artificer is probably going to live at least another turn here and continue to drive his armor total up, which the further it gets up, of course, the less likely Imposition is to even have a chance at coming back in this game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty okay, I guess.
It'll feel bad to charge the 5/5 into the 1/5 though.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have much of a choice, however. But then you get to take
him
out
to
the
clean
Arcane
both,
Artificer. Yeah, so you take out the Artificer, and that makes you feel better about it. Because if that Artificer got him another, 7 armor, then that feels really bad. And Imposition's straight up out of cards. So, like, any meaningful board wipes here just puts him out of the game. I mean, you could even meteor just the right side of the board, take out, 5/5, 5/3, 5/3, 3/2, right? And then just leave up the... Because, I mean, if you wipe this board, you're going to have to deal with a 5/5 plus the 3/6.
Well, you can ping the egg first, and then
you can. But then you could meteor away a 5/5, a 5/3, and a 3/1, which is the same thing as just taking away the 5/5, the 5/3, and the 3/2. But
I think I do like that. I think I do like that line of play better, just because the off chance that you do happen to draw a cube. As far as Cinder knows, there's 2 cubes still left in the deck, which means that there's a chance that more and more eggs are just going to pop out.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you had to get rid of the... I guess you had to get rid of the egg at some point, yeah.
The crush was pretty much the only option there off of the tracker. As we said, Katharina without any beasts in the deck is pretty much a not useless card, but not very helpful. And then
No.
we're past the point of Serenite Chain Gang being a useful tool.
Right. So Imposition's not out of it, but he definitely needs some help to stay in it, and getting that taunt down for Cinder is going to be huge.
Yeah, it's just going to stop the crush from hitting face, which is so important right now. Oh man. I mean, 2 crushes.
Okay.
Does Imposition have a way to clear the 1/4 without using a crush, though, would be the question.
Yeah, I mean, he's got to run it into the. He's got to run one of them into the 1/4, and then Cinder just has answers, right? And he's got the meteor. He's got the voodoo doll.
Well, he does have a second Hunter's Mark, which could clear it with the last charge of the candle shot, which would then allow the crush to immediately go face. But I mean, that's a 1 in 10 draw at this point.
That he's gonna get. So, just you watch.
Void Ripper's we've already seen both of those 1 through tracking. That's really the only way he can clear it without the crushes just dying immediately, because any crush that plays is just going to die.
He could hero power 6 times. That is a route to victory right now.
Yeah, if Cinder doesn't happen to draw anything that generates armor, or Jaina, of course, he could just eventually wear him down.
No, with the 8/8 on the board, though, that's unlikely.
Yeah, we're definitely going to see a bit of a quicker clock, I think, than that.
Does Splintercraft ever get played here?
I don't know. I mean, is that something you ever want to use your full turn for?
I mean, a 10/10 Stonehill Defender? I don't know.
I suppose it's possible. Yeah. I mean, it could be. I don't think we're even going to need it at this point.
No.
This game is definitely about over. Yeah, I mean, at this point, unfortunately, that's going to die immediately and not get any more damage in. And there's no way for him to get more damage next turn unless he draws that last candle shot. Ice Barrier would be the safe pick here, just to make sure.
Yeah.
Because that would be the lethal for in position. He draws a candle shot, plays the crush. That's 10 damage right there. But he did pick Ice Barrier, which is a smart play.
Yeah, I mean, you want to be able to like just put lethal further out of range and Imposition's out of options at this point.
I guess he did have the flanking strike, which would have been another option for taking care of the Stonehill with the candle shot, opening up the board for crush. But yeah, at this point, unfortunately, it's just too late.
King Crush got out of his jungle, man.
It's amazing what a 1/4 can do with taunt. I mean, you don't think of it as a powerful card, but if it absorbs an entire charge from Crush, or we're not seeing charge Devil Swords in this deck, but anything like that, it's fantastic in the late game.
Yeah, even like O2 taunt would have done just the same thing. Taunts are really nice to have against decks that don't have any real good ways of just dealing with minions without using their own minions on the board.
I think that's one thing you see a lot of people do incorrectly too, and this is something like we talked about the stubborn gastropods as well, is that you play the taunts on curve, but what are they eating up on a turn 3 or turn 4? And they can be much more useful if you hold them and play them later in the game, like we saw here.
Yep. Is there lethal? So it's 13. Well, he has no burn damage from face, so.
Yeah, I think the Stonehill coming down here guarantees more protection.
Oh, that Wax Elemental. Oh, I like Wax Elemental. It's cheap. It's got to be hit twice. Like, you're guaranteed it's got to be hit twice. I like it.
Well, I don't know what else he'd really be playing, I guess, this turn. Like Tar Creeper plus Arthas or Tar Creeper plus Arcane Keysmith. if you don't want to weave in a ping. I mean, the ping is probably not very necessary here.
But Tar Creeper gets one shot by a lot of things. I don't know.
Yeah,
vaporize, baby.
I don't think there's too much concern here, though.
Hey man, if playing safe is worth doing, it's worth overdoing.
Sometimes you can play it too safe, though.
Yeah, the writing's on the walls for imposition unless he finds enough lifesteal to live, which like he'd have to get like the 5 mana 8/8, the Bittertide Hydra with Russian lifesteal.
Well, gain armor could also help. 3 armor isn't going to be enough.
Nope. He's got to get it with some Russian lifesteal, but
Echo Rush.
Echo Rush.
Well, that won't.
He can't.
This turn.
He can't kill it. It'll have 4 health. He can't possibly get it killed. Yep. Feels bad.
I suppose he could Hunter's Mark his own 4/4. But again, that's not going to be.
Could Hunter's Mark his own 4/4, but yeah, that 3 armor is not going to be enough.
When you're talking about Hunter's Marking your own minions, you know something has gone a bit awry.
Can you even hunt? Yeah, you could. It's a Shane J minions. But can you even Hunter's Mark?
You absolutely can. I've used it to proc the Seeping Oozlings in the standard Katharina Hunter. It's
oh, that's right.
Usually only when you are trying to immediately push lethal at that moment is the only time I would suggest doing it.
Yep, I've had to do that before.
Yeah, Cinder definitely he grinded that game out the right way. You know, classic big spell mage. He never even saw Jaina, but you know sometimes you just get enough removal that you don't need it.
You don't need it. Yeah, once big spell mage finds a way to turn the corner, it keeps the corner. There's no outrunning that deck. It could be pretty frustrating to play against.
Knowing that matchup going into, you know, that is a matchup where the big spell mage, as long as they can get to the later turns, they can definitely control against the Egg Hunter. One of the few decks that really can.
Yep. All right, so Cinder's got the win with his mage, so he's going to be up 1-0 on imposition. And again, we already said Cinder was favored in this matchup, so taking that early lead is going to be huge for Cinder.
We're waiting for the next game to start too. Definitely be curious to see what we have for a deck pick here.
Yeah. You know what I'm curious to see, Donde?
What is that?
Darkstone bands.
Let's get that shameless plug in right now. Let's go for it.
Yeah, Darkstone. I'm going to be announcing the tournament on Monday.
This is an announcement of an announcement.
It's an announcement of an announcement. Whoever wins the RAG championship, I'm giving them a card ban, their team a card ban, and then I'm going to take a card ban, and then I'm going to get the announcement out there for this tournament. But so keep your eyes peeled next week, because I know a lot of people are excited for this. All right, but we got even Warlock versus Big Druid.
It's a pretty even matchup. Looking at the chart, and it's I don't want to say completely hand dependent, but you know, obviously, there's 2 things you're looking to do as a druid in this matchup, and it's ramp and find your big guys at the end. Which he's got the ramp, which is great.
He does have the ramp. And he's got the Nourish too for draw after the ramp. I don't know if I loved. I mean, it's gonna work out because he drew the Bright-Eyed Scout, but me personally, I don't know if I loved coining out the Wild Growth, because if you think about it, you could pass Wild Growth, coin Nourish, which I think for me is just a little bit stronger than, you know, Wild Growth, coin Wild Growth into Greedy Sprite that you know isn't going to net you that mana that you want. Like, you could have Nourished this turn.
Well, I think that having the Bright-Eyed Scout in your hand is a higher upside play, because if you do happen to pull something like Oakheart off of that, I mean, you just pretty much win the game right on the spot.
Yeah. But he didn't have the Bright-Eyed Scout when he made that play.
That's true. That is true. And, I mean, Cinder definitely had a very good opening hand, too. Obviously, anytime you have Mountain Giant in your opening hand as an even Warlock, you can say I have a pretty good opening hand. These guys are playing this game a lot faster, too, than the last game.
Yeah. Well, I mean, these matchups are a little bit easier. You know, if you're Warlock, you tap, and you play whatever mana is now on your curve for that turn. So 5, you tap, play 4-drop.
Well, there are some thoughts to
6, you play 6
making
drop.
sure that you. Well, I mean, as a Warlock, you can, knowing that you're going against a deck that has things like Naturalize in it. Sometimes if you can bait out the Naturalize on your Twilight Drake instead of the Mountain Giant, sometimes it can be beneficial to play that a different order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That just comes down to a hand read, which is tough, obviously, that early in the game.
Yeah, that early in the game, it's
so
really
many cards
hard.
you've had in the mulligan, and you never really quite know.
Also, like, hand readings for the pros, man. I'm not. Ooh.
Yeah, that is a absolutely perfect counter. It's gonna clear off that Dragon Hatcher, and yeah, this is a quick.
This is a stomp
spot right here for Cinder or for Imposition to be in, I should say.
This is what we call a stomp, boys and girls.
Well, he does have the Spreading Plague, which
he
can
does.
delay.
It will.
Actually, I should say.
He's even got the Sleepy Dragon. He's even got the Sleepy Dragon, and he's even got the Primordial too. Like he can hit in his Brightwing Scout and then Primordial Drake to clear off the Black Knight.
I think one thing he has to be aware though is with Cinder, he is running 2 Spellbreakers, so
yeah, 1 taunt's probably not enough.
Yeah, if you play down 1 taunt and he has a Spellbreaker, you lose right there on the spot.
You're gonna get, but hang on, if he's got the Spellbreaker, you still lose with Spreading Plague, right? Because you can't get 3, you can only get 2, so you would silence 1. Oh no, you can't get 3 if you hit it in. Never mind. Dark is special, ladies and gentlemen. Don't listen to me ever.
Also, he made the right move there, clearing off the Riot Scout to get the extra taunt, because yes, every taunt counts at this point, and you know, obviously, I think you're looking for Naturalize Hadronox. You definitely want to get more taunts. So it's a good thing he did that, because we see a top deck of a Spellbreaker.
Wow. Yeah, I for some reason thought that the Riot Scout couldn't die, but I was like, he's got an 8/8 on the board. Of course that thing can die. We even have to use the 8/8, but that's just me being dumb.
He does have the Spellstone for 5, which will clear one of these 2/5s off.
It will.
And he could put each of the 4/8 and the 4/2 into the others, defile out.
Well, here's a thought. I like putting down the 7/7 because you know your opponent doesn't have removal. If he had removal, he would have used it, right? So I like putting down a 7/7 right now. That's just me, though. You can even put down a 6/6 and clear off 2 minions with your 4-attack minions.
I mean, you could do the 7/7 and pair it with the Acidic, knowing that there's no other need for it, considering it's just a vanilla 3/2 in this matchup.
What about hitting in both 4-attack minions, hitting in the Mountain Giant, and then dropping the Dread Infernal? That clears your opponent's entire board, and or you could set that up for next turn too, honestly. But
yeah, and I think that looks like exactly what he's planning on doing.
Yeah, I like setting up for next turn because now, well, your opponent could still get a full Spreading Plague, so never mind. Again, dumb.
He does pick up the Malfurion, which is actually better than Spreading Plague at this point, since he's going to get two taunts as well. So he's just, trying to delay the game as long as possible. Which
2 taunts plus 5 armor.
Druid. That's true. Extra 5 armor does not hurt. I mean, he's living off the top deck right now, since he's got no cards that he can really combo with each other. Like, he's basically playing 1 card a turn at this point, unless he has a chance to pull that Nourish off, but there's not really going to be a safe spot to do that, I don't think, at this point going forward.
Yep. Well, he can get a pretty decent clear off and push some damage. And he's going to push 12 damage this turn, which isn't insignificant.
Yeah. No, this is the right play here. I think that 1/5 by itself is of no concern to him.
Very weak. And then he's just in Hellfire lethal range, so unless, Impo uses his armor, which you have to, right? You have to know Hellfire lethal is a thing. But he can only play that with
the Drake is probably the only play right here, yeah.
Yeah, Drake armor, but does that even keep you alive? No, it doesn't.
No, because he's gonna trade in 8-4 and
Yeah, that doesn't even keep you alive. You are just dead.
He did. So that's 2-0 for Cinder.
Cinder doing a quick stomping of our boy in position. Man, I'm sorry in position. I'm trying to give you the good vibes.
So for Cinder now, this is going to leave him with only his Hunter, which is...
No.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the back. Look at the chart backwards. It's going to leave him with the Shutterwalk Shaman.
Shutterwalk Shaman, which you got to bring your most aggressive deck for this one.
We did say this was kind of the key matchup as far as the centerpiece, whether or not Cinder would be able to win the whole series, considering he doesn't have a favorite matchup at all, really, here. Looking at the chart, Big Druid is actually the most favored against Shutterwalk Shaman, whereas the Cube Hunter is also favored, and even Warlock is only about a 50-50 with it.
Yeah, and the Shutterwalk Shaman was, the thing that Imposition did have the best matchups against. So, with Warlock being the only 50-50 class. So if you're in position, I think you queue up Druid or Hunter, and you go Warlock last.
Actually, now that I think about it, we just said even Warlock. We meant Zoo Warlock because that's that.
Oh yeah.
A little bit off the wall Zoo, so it's not quite the same chart as what we were looking at as far as the even Warlock, since it's not that same deck makeup.
That
which
actually
probably plays to his advantage because it is a more aggressive type than the even Warlock.
Yeah. I was just gonna say that actually might be better for Imposition. Maybe he was looking at his matchup charts, going like, "All right, I could just sweep the Shutterwalk Shaman, no big deal." I mean, you never want to have to rely on sweeping one deck, right? Like, that's something you just don't want to do.
No, I mean, even with the best matchups, decks fail. Even if it is, 60-40, 70-30, there's still a chance. That's 30%, that's 40%. And if you have to win 3 in a row, there's always a chance there that you just...
Yeah, I mean, being a 60% favorite doesn't mean you win every time, Like... There's still the times where it bricks. Let's take a second here to appreciate the alternate heroes in this match. We got Illyria and Morgul. Wonderful. Okay. Earthshock, absolutely huge pickup in this matchup. What is a 0-2, a vanilla 0-2 on the board do for anybody? Nothing. So I like Earthshock.
It is a great card. Definite keep here. Volcano, another great card to have right out of the jump.
Yeah, I like it. He's already got the tools that he needs to pull off the I guess you could say the upset. I don't even know how favored the Egg Hunter is to Shutterwalk Shaman, to be honest with you. Hockey Boys is confusing people in chat. Don't do that, Hockey. Or Sazuru is confusing himself.
Sazuru should be resting up for his match later.
Yeah, Sazuru, man. Get out of chat. Go do your mantra. You're playing a straight killer later.
We should be able to cut to him in the green room, with his Beats by Dre on, just focused.
They can't wear those anymore. It's got to be Bose,
I apologize.
I'm
not sponsored. So Bose, if you're listening out there, please feel free.
That's the NFL headset. If you're in the NFL, you got to wear the Bose. That is incredible.
This is a really powerful opening hand for Cinder, or not even opening hand, but just the hand at its current moment.
Yeah.
Whereas for Imposition, as we talked about bricks, 2 Defenders of Argus is a pretty big brick out of the mulligan.
It is. I mean, it has a target, right? It has the egg, which is just going to get earth shocked here, and that's going to feel really bad. But if you're Cinder, right, you don't even need your Manatite Totem anymore. You got your Volcanoes in hand, and you're going to Hemet Jungle Hunter, and then the only thing you're going to be drawing from that point out are combo pieces towards your actual endgame win condition. Like, you don't have to... You have the Hex, too, right? So you have to draw one more Hex. And then... combos for your end game. So like having both of those Volcanoes in hand, like, is actually pretty insane.
Yeah, the Serenite Chain Gang coming out too is going to quell a little bit of the aggression from imposition, and he knows he has to be the aggressor. Obviously, in this matchup, you want to put as much damage to face as fast as possible.
Yeah, you have to.
I think that's what makes this matchup so frustrating to play against when you know you're on ladder, obviously, and you run into Shutterwalk Shaman. You know that you have to be aggressive, and obviously you want to trade sometimes, but it's best to just keep going face a lot of the time.
Yeah, and you might not even have the tools to go aggressive.
Like we see here, he doesn't. You know, the egg was silenced, which was unfortunate with the pickup of the Terrascale Soccer at the very next draw.
Yeah. Yeah, that's rough. Cinder's got options. He could coin out the Hemet. He's going to take a lot of damage if he does that. He could just Lightning Storm. If you're going to do that, though, you got to Totem. Oh, but he's going to Black Knight. Okay.
Yeah, I think the Black Knight on the egg is important because if he does have a cube, then he can still get those eggs to pop out, and those eggs will not be silenced. So it is, I think, the right play here. And Hemet coming out means that you no longer... you know, you no longer have healing reigns either.
That is true. Hemet does kill your healing reigns, but I mean, against a board like this where, you know, you just cleared it, I mean, it's pretty good. Oh, there's the Grumble. Yeah, here, we're going to see a Volcano come out here. That's fine.
Yeah, that's a no-brainer play. There's no downside, nothing Death Rattle, and there's the cube.
Yeah, it's a cube, and it's not going to do anything for him.
I mean, it doesn't feel good, but I think at this point he has to play a few cards to get back on board.
Yeah, he's got to tempo out the cube. He has to. He can't hold on anymore. He can't hold to anything. Wow. I mean, you could just hex the cube, right?
I don't even think that's really necessary. I mean,
oh, that was huge.
You can totem first, as we did see, to see what you get. And just knowing that Manti Totem is going to live at least one more turn. Though he does have the Void Rippers, so I guess, you know, in Cinder's mind he's safe, but we know that's not the case. And that's actually going to allow...
the Void Ripper pushes
more damage.
6 damage, yeah. It's too bad Hagatha doesn't clear here, because he's probably got to use another Volcano.
With the Glacial Shard, actually, you might not need to.
Yeah.
Glacial plus Grumble might be the play.
Yeah, I like it.
We're going to save.
Just make your 1-mana dude another 1-mana dude.
And obviously adding that into the Battle Cry pool, too, is helpful.
Yeah, just getting a couple freezes off the Battle Cries. That's the most annoying part about Shutterwalk Shaman, to me, honestly.
Well, it conjures up the old memories of Freeze Mage, which is personally one of my least favorite decks to play against. Just because, you know, what you see here, you have a game plan, your game plan is to be on board, and their game plan is to not care and just freeze everything forever.
Yeah.
Luckily, Ice Block doesn't exist anymore,
at
least not standard, so there's a little bit of a relief there.
Yes, thank you. I hate Ice Block. It was one of the most poorly designed cards in all of Hearthstone history. And we're going to see the next most poorly designed card in the next set. Talking about the Floop Man.
I mean, that's got to be the favorite so far for best card that we've seen. I mean, it could end up being the best card in the set, but obviously there's so many more left to see that it'd be hard to make that assessment right now.
Oh, Lightning Storm's pretty cool. I mean, first you had Totem first to see what's up, but... He's got options, like he can trade Hagatha, get some another 5 armor. It's unfortunate that he's not in a spot right now where he can hem it. Because he needs his healing reigns for sure.
I think you might want to totem here first just to see if you can get the... I guess... No, never mind.
No, yeah, he's just going to Hagatha. Hagatha's fine. I mean, any minions he plays now give him spells, which could give him more healing reigns.
Yeah, I think I was probably overthinking it there. You know, trying for the the spell damage Lightning Storm High Roll is nice, but it's obviously a little bit inconsistent.
Yeah. Yeah, you just want the 5 armor. If Imposition doesn't develop to the board, Hammock can come down. You have Farsight too. You could Farsight first. Just to try to draw a Healing Ring, I guess? Or would you hem it first and then try to Farsight into combo pieces?
I think you probably want to Farsight first. Like we said, the Healing Ring is pretty important.
Yeah.
Honestly, just with my experience from playing against Shudderwalk Shaman, I'm just surprised he doesn't have both Healing Rains yet, because that seems to be how it is for me.
Yes.
I think I've got you on the ropes, then all of a sudden you're back to full health.
It's really annoying. But you have to know, just a little bit of light hand reading right now tells you Imposition's hand is awful, right? Because he had to play a Void Ripper for tempo.
Yeah, he's been playing like 1 card plus hero power for most of the last few turns, and that's never really a good look in a deck that wants to combo things together, though that Crush...
Oh, baby.
That's 12 damage if he wants to push, which he very well might.
He might have to push.
I think you do. That's going to put him down to 4. Put Cinder down to 4, I should say.
Yeah.
I think the question is, what do you do for follow-up next turn?
Or do you get your opponent into a position where King Crush is lethal and try to play the lethal from hand?
That is certainly the trickier way to go about it. Disguise lethal. And I think at this point, he can probably safely assume that there are no Healing Rains in Cinder's hand, and he obviously just destroyed the rest of his 3 mana or lower cards, so I think he probably feels pretty safe knowing that there's no way for Cinder to heal.
If Cinder draws Shudderwalk this turn, I think it's pretty much over.
Well, I think that would be, what is it, a 1 and 3. There's 3 cards left. Well, actually, Chain Gang is certainly helpful as well.
Yeah, you can Chain Gang first, see what you get off the Hagatha for your spell. And if you get nothing, you can just Lightning Storm, I guess. Try to, you're probably going to high roll on one, and then you can clear off the other. But then that doesn't allow you to play...
If you Lightning Storm and one thing lives, you can Frost Shock it.
Oh, yeah, you take the Ancestral Spirit. You just play it on your 2 mana 2.
Great draw.
Yeah, you just play it on one of the Frost Shock, and then you get Ancestral Spirit, and that's awesome. I even play the Acolyte of Pain here.
I think we're back into the situation we discussed previously.
That guarantees your Shudder. If you Acolyte of Pain, that guarantees your Shudder.
This is very similar to the first game, where that King Crush is just never going to connect solidly to face. Oh, and that Shudder is the 30th card.
Yeah, that's why you play the Acolyte there, because it guarantees your Shudder.
But it does open you up to the fact that you can no longer use Volcano, because you'll just fatigue yourself to death.
I think you have to... Yeah, you have to clear this board. Like, not like clear it, but you have to Hex that 5/5.
Yeah, I mean, Crush plus... Well, there's 2 Candle Shots are used, so there's no possibility of lethal.
Yeah. But is your Shudder going to be enough to save you? I don't think that it is. We'll have to see. It depends on what order the spells go off.
With only one Life Drinker, we know that there's only going to be 3 healing for sure.
Oh wow, he chooses not to play the King Crush.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I think I liked playing the King Crush here, though. That was likely going to get frozen next turn, based on the fact that we already saw 2 Glacial Shard Battle Cries go off. So odds are that he's still in the mode where he wants to try and use that as a finisher.
Yeah, but if you're Cinder, you have the read that that's in the hand. And, I mean, Shudder basically clears this deck, and, like, if you need, like, the Battle Cry to go off in a very specific order in order for you to, like, be, like, really, really safe. Grumble going off first there is not good. Yeah.
That is not the right freeze target.
Well,
That
he
is
got it.
the right freeze target.
But he's in a position now where he cannot get his shutters back. So, I mean, this is basically all she wrote for him, for Cinder.
Is it though? That lava burst, and if he plays a minion that gives him another damage spell like a lightning
Yeah, I mean,
bolt, it's possible. It's
he
possible.
needs some help. He's got 18 plus 5. He's off lethal by 1.
I think you have to play the Acolyte of Pain first to see what you get.
Yeah. Okay.
And X is not what you want to see. I think he might end up giving Imposition a heart attack here, but he's not going to get lethal.
Well, Imposition got in there. I mean, it's typical, right? If he would have gotten lethal off of the Hagatha spell, like, it's like, oh, that's Hearthstone for you. That happens.
And that's and you know, you say that's Hearthstone. That's Shudderwalk Shaman. Sometimes the battle cries just don't go off in the right order, and there's not much you can really do. There is that inherent fail rate. Just getting one Shudderwalk back wins the game there, and he could unfortunately do it. And that's the risky run, I suppose.
Even getting the Shudderwalk. Oh yeah, because he gets the Shudderwalk back, he plays it, he gets another few health. Yeah, that's
not even another few health. That 3 damage plus the lava burst that we saw is immediately lethal anyway.
That's true.
So we're gonna see Shaman versus Druid now. Another battle of alternate hero portraits.
I apologize, I had to get some water. I'll be back to switch the screens momentarily.
I guess you guys are in my world now for a little bit. Honestly, this might be a better cast for everybody, just so that way I can control, you know, while he's gone, since he's probably not going to hear me, I apologize for
I hear you. I have a wireless headset.
Well, that's unfortunate for me.
No, finish what you were going to say. Go ahead.
Darkseid is the best captain.
Should probably update the score, huh? Best captain, crappy stream host.
Let's look at the Imposition's hand right here. Wild Growth, right out of the gate, is great. The Bright-Eyed Scout is nice as well, though he's already holding Oakheart, so your best hit is already in your hand. Plus, the Dragon Hatcher is not the draw you want to see.
Nope, that's why you run 2 of them. He does got the Golden Lich King. Let's pull that up. Take a gander at that, everybody. That's pretty cool.
That is pretty.
On the other side, though,
cards that generate cards are always nice.
On the other side, though, Cinder's got the gold healing totem. That's pretty legit. Oh, 2-mana volcano.
Yeah, that's definitely a good piece.
I like that. What does he hit with the Bright-Eyed Scout? That's a whiff.
It could be worse.
It could be worse.
1 mana. Yeah, it always feels bad to see a naturalized pull up on that, but I think one of the things that's the least fun about playing Big Druid is just every draw is, you just dread every draw, because there's so many ways for it to go wrong pulling those big minions. You don't want to play them from hand, obviously.
You'll play them from hand for 5 mana.
Well, I just meant in general drawing, not necessarily off of the Bright-Eyed Scout.
Yeah.
It feels like your whole game, you're just trying to dodge certain draws until you get to the point where you can play Oakheart or play Dragon Hatcher, because it never feels good to only get maybe 1 dragon out of Dragon Hatcher.
Alright, Imposition clearing that up with the swipe. Probably realizes there's not a lot of better targets for swipe in this matchup. And allows him to start pushing damage. Well, not anymore.
Second Volcano was a good pull as well, knowing that he's probably going to have to clear some reasonably sizable boards.
Yep, in position next turn, he can actually... you never hit the healing totem, so it just heals itself back up. Don't do it, Impo. You know better.
I think he was just debating us all right there.
Yeah. Like, it'll just heal. Don't do it, man.
So I've seen enough games of his to know that he knows not to make that mistake.
Yeah. I think he thought about it and then was like, oh, wait a minute. That's not good. Oh, both Dragon Hatchers. You hate to see that.
Yeah, that's not good at this point. I mean, I think the next 2 turns are probably going to be Coin Dragon Hatcher and then Dragon Hatcher. But if you look at his hand already, we've already got a Primordial Drake in the hand. I guess that's not too many dragons yet. Just the 1 Primordial Drake, so they can still get some value, but that's not ideal.
No, it is not ideal at all. You never want to play Dragon Hatcher from hand. It's just gross is the word I'm looking for. Is that right?
Yeah, it's definitely not. It never feels good to play a 2/4 for 9, though it does have a powerful effect. Something I want to bring up, and this is something you said last game, but I did not get to touch on. And Jack Sox actually points it out in chat. He asks why Ice Block is a poorly designed card, and I did want to say I don't think it was a poorly designed card. I think in conjunction with some of the cards that came later, it definitely broke a bit.
So, any card that says you don't get to die and I take another turn, it's just not healthy for any game. It basically says, okay, I get 2 turns in a row. Like, it's just not a healthy card. Poorly designed maybe isn't the right term, but it's definitely not a healthy card for the game whatsoever.
There was certainly counterplay to it in terms of like Eater of Secrets or Flare if you're a hunter, of course. But it's still, those are pretty niche cards as far as techs go. But in like general ladder, you probably don't want to run them since they're dead against 70% of the decks that you're going to play against. But in a tournament, they're certainly viable.
So the thing is with the secret eating cards is none of the cards were neutral standard. Right, Eater of Secrets came in.
And it's rotated out. Yeah.
Right, it's rotated out. The only one that's in standard is Flare for hunters. So like, what you have to play hunter to get around this stupid card? I don't know, man. I just hated it. And Freeze Mage was like the least interesting deck ever. It's just like I freeze my opponent's board. I don't even deal about my opponent's board. I just freeze. I draw. I wait till I have like 4 cards I need in my hand. I vomit them from my hand. I win. Like.
I mean, I mentioned that I personally did not like to play against Freeze Mage myself, so I completely understand that viewpoint. I'm not going to even begin to devil's advocate against it. But yeah, I don't think it was a poorly designed card. It just, you know, as we see in a card game and new things come out, flaws show up that they didn't expect to be there when they designed the classic set in this case.
Right. When I say like poorly designed, I mean like. It's just an extremely unhealthy card to have. And obviously Blizzard agreed. They got it out of the game. Like, you know,
I think a lot of that was feedback from players, or not necessarily feedback, but actual vitriol from the players.
That is a bad O-card. Wow.
Yeah, I think, I guess getting back to the action here, because as this isn't a podcast between me and you, this is an actual stream. The O-card there was mainly for the Drakari Enchanter, knowing that he's got Ysera in hand, the Dragon Hatcher in hand, so he's going to get potential value out of it if it lives. Though it could very well end up being... No, I don't think you waste a Hex on it.
No, I mean, you could clear this board out with Volcano and stuff, like, but you don't even need to.
Yeah. You could also Lightning Storm and hope you high roll, and then just take it down with the 2/1. The question is whether or not he wants to let it live if he thinks, oh, he's just going to Hex it, huh?
Yeah, Drakari Enchanter isn't even like... But he doesn't have the information of Imposition's hand. Like, it wouldn't have gotten that much work done.
Having drawn 17 cards from his deck at this point, I think you would safely assume that he had something in his hand that was going to proc off the Drakari Enchanter. Also knowing that he played Oakheart and didn't pull Dragon Hatchers from his deck, then... you have to think the Dragon Hatchers are in hand because they're the only 2 attack cards in your deck.
Yeah, yeah, it's rough. But yeah, I don't know what if you're in position. I mean, like nothing here feels great, especially when so many combo pieces for Shutterwalk have already been assembled. Like you kind of know the writing's on the wall a little bit. What has been assembled? So we had the Grumble, we had the Life Drinker, How many chain gangs do we have? One?
He's played one chain gang so far. Yep.
Yeah, he probably can't reliably.
Turn is not a tangle.
And just a reminder, both to you, me, and everyone watching, he only has one life drinker in his deck. So that life drinker that you've seen is the only one that he's going to get.
Yeah.
The Frostborn clear of the Grumble is important too. Obviously, if the Grumble goes back to hand, this whole thing can get real wonky real fast. But
I think he's just going to rip the Shutterwalk and hope for the best. And it's going to work.
Yeah, it's the exact opposite of what we saw last game.
And that's
Wow.
basically a win for the Shutterwalk, because now he's going to have 1 mana Shutterwalks.
How
Like,
about those?
You play the one.
Pieces?
You have to play it. What do you? Why don't you play it?
I think just in case it doesn't go back. If
No, it's guaranteed to go back.
If you get this one on board, it's going to happen.
It's guaranteed.
Boy, that does not feel good. I mean, armoring up is one thing, but this deck doesn't care about how much armor you have. It's going to win, whether it's in 2 minutes, 6 minutes, 12 minutes, however much of this combo we have to watch.
So yeah, I mean, now it's like you could have guaranteed another, couple of 1 mana Shutterwalks, where now you're kind of living on the edge again and hoping that your battle cries go in the right order.
Yeah, he did get lucky the first time, and now, yeah, we're gonna have to see if he gets lucky the second time.
Death is eternal. My turn is not.
Never mind.
Never mind. Wow. Talk about a
that is a
top
draw.
deck just bailing you out. Like, you kind of got bailed out there. Because look,
it happened.
It happened. Wow. Never punished, dude. Like, that's something about this. Man. I'm just going to, not say anything else because I don't have anything nice to say right now.
I mean, I can only imagine sitting across the table right now, as we all have, watching this combo just go off infinitely. That it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good at all.
I mean, there should have been a major punish, right? So, and it just never happened because of that top deck, and I'm feeling some kind of way about this right now.
That was a 1 in 12 to pull the Murmuring Elemental.
If you saw me right now, I'm just face in both hands, head on my desk, just going, I hate Hearthstone right now. I just hate it. Oh my god, dude. This is really fun and interactive.
Yeah, I mean, I'll see you in a couple minutes, I guess. This reminds me of the early days of this combo, where there was no limit to the amount of battle cries that could go off, and I forget what streamer it was. Might have been Tice that did it, and he just walked away from the computer for 7 minutes.
I'm not gonna lie, this is really, 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 really annoying.
My timer has us 1 minute deep into overtime, so to speak, right now.
Yeah. Can you get a message out to the new players that they're gonna be ready to go?
Have.
Okay, thank you.
I told them about 30 minutes or so.
Yeah, I would get a message out, tell them more like 5 now.
Oh, we could have run an entire interview with Cinder at this time.
I don't even want to interview him. I mean, you should probably get him on, but I don't want to talk to him.
I guess I can interview him, and you can just sit there and make grunting noises or something to voice your displeasure the entire time.
There was no business winning that last game, but the Shutterwalk Shaman pulls it off sometimes, I guess.
Well,
Man.
we'll ask him about it.
Oh, I did intend to. You know how I do, man. I like to stir the pot. All right, are you gonna
3-1 for Cinder.
do you want to get him in here? Do you know how to do that?
Yeah, sure do, man.
All right, cool.
Terrible at Facebook, but I'm okay at Discord.
God, you're ancient.
Yeah. I believe my hatred for Facebook is fairly warranted nowadays.
I hate Facebook. It's not even the place where you can see the best memes anymore, so like I don't even go on Facebook. Yeah, spelling errors. Hey man, they happen. Sorry, I had Cinder's name spelled wrong the whole time. My bad. I never said I was smart. There, I fixed it. Alright, have we heard back from young Cinder?
He was getting his microphone plugged in, which he just did.
So, should I vent frustration now or wait or later?
Let's wait till we get him in here.
Oh God. Why?
Hello.
Cinder,
Congratulations, sir.
you're on with Dark Side of Dante. How's it going?
Hey, what's up, guys? Doing all right.
I'm so hangry right now.
Yeah, get something to eat, man. Come on, that was a long match.
I'm not hangry. I'm angry.
Angry?
Angry.
Why? What did I do?
So the last match, right, where you shutter and you're holding a 1-mana Shutterwalk that's guaranteed to go off and get you at least another 1-mana Shutterwalk. You hold it, right?
Yep.
And then you top deck the Murmuring Elemental, but your first Shutterwalk is a bust. It doesn't give you more Shutterwalks from the board. So if without that Murmuring Elemental, it's an immediate punish, and I'm just upset that I didn't get to see the punish.
Oh, yeah. My sad face. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch that because, like, once Shutterwalk hits the hand, you get those memes with the confused people looking at geometry. That's kind of what starts happening in my brain.
Yeah.
Like, all it needs to happen is I need to have one mana Shutterwalk in my hand. If nothing else happens, that's fine. Like, that's the only thing that needs to happen.
Yeah, because if you play it on the board, like right after you play the Shutterwalk, like you have the chance of getting at least 3 more 1-mana Shutterwalks in your hand, but at least you're guaranteed 1. But
right.
Yeah, I was upset that there was the chance for the punish. But conversely, I felt bad for you the one game where your battle cries went out of order and you didn't get the Shutterwalk.
Oh yeah, and then Shutterwalk was the bottom card too. Even after.
Oh yeah, that was rough.
Just like, all right, I'm thinking about my card. I'm like, all of my 3 drops are in the deck. If I him it, I've got like a 1 in 4 chance of just drawing Shutterwalk immediately and going to town. And 3 draws later, he's still not there. And I'm like, come on, you're killing me.
Yeah, that was pretty rough. Did you have a good read that he was holding like King Crush in his hand?
I just wanted to play around it, basically. Like, the Cube Hunter can just basically do either 9 or 12 out of hand.
Yeah.
Turn 10. So like I just had to make sure I was out of range of as much of that as possible.
Yeah.
And also taunts, like because Crush taunts they don't get along.
No, they don't.
That was one thing that I actually was saying during the game, that you were doing a good job of keeping the taunts up in the right spots to ensure that the Crush never made connection with your face, which is definitely a hard thing to do in that matchup. So I think you did a great job with that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the Cube Hunter's kind of like an evolution of Recruit Hunter, which like I've been playing since Kobolds and Catacombs came out. So I was pretty familiar with the possibility of Crush being stranded in hand.
Yeah, the mage game was played very well. Did,
Thank you very much.
did you see his like his zoo warlock
Yes.
list? I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
So
ashamed we didn't get to see that.
this is my point of anger here is that we didn't get to see the two coolest decks that were in this matchup, which was the weird zoo deck and of course your mage, which was banned. Unfortunately, I like Murloc Mage myself quite a bit, and I was hoping to actually get to see it played.
Well, it was Impo's Murloc Mage.
Yeah, right. But yeah, like the Murloc Mage was just way too good against my lineup. I had to ban it. Like I couldn't leave it up at all.
Oh, it was certainly the right decision. I completely agree with your decision to do so. I hate you for banning it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm always sadly I'm always going to be playing by the numbers. So I got you know what though I gotta tell you, like in position, not only he banned correctly, and his Q order was perfect.
Oh, that's in position. He's a
right?
master.
He queued me into unfavorable matchups in games 1 and 2, and he deserves all the credit for that because those were not easy games for me to pull off.
Yeah, I played against Imposition once in like a scrim, like 3 seasons ago, and he just kicked the ever-loving snot out of me.
Like he's real good.
He's real good. So that's got to feel good beating a quality opponent like that in a league like this where it's like open deck lists. Like you can game plan from the word go.
Right. Yeah. Of course, you're also stuck with what you have, and I'm sitting here looking at my lineup like, why did I take this lineup this week?
I think we all do that, don't we?
Yeah, to an extent. Yeah.
Yeah.
With the team format, you have the possibility of flexing the archetype depending on what you think you might face, but this is just okay. This is what I got. I'm going to war with the army I have, not the army I wish I had.
Yeah, that's how I feel every week in MCL. One thing that we were kind of interested in, and we didn't get to see it because it was banned, was Questing Adventurer and Miracle Rogue. Like,
Yeah.
what do you like about Questing Adventurer in the deck? Because it's something that I don't really see too often.
Like growth minions are really difficult for a lot of decks to handle. You pretty much have to either have silence, which is kind of falling out of favor, or you have to have like absolute hard removal, which is also pretty rare. Like there's naturalize, which is pretty common, and maybe if there's a control mage, they'll be able to polymorph it, and then Shutterwalk with Hex. But other than that, that's it. Like there's a pretty good chance that growth minions like Hench Clan Thug and the Questing Adventurer will stick. And it's just another threat for that deck because especially like in the mid game, because if you can plant it and then get into a Gadgetzan turn, that thing just gets way out of control real fast.
Yeah, I remember back when Conceal was still a card. Man, I miss that card sometimes. That card, like Questing Adventurers, would get out of control, but lately they don't really do that too much. But yeah, you're right. If you get it to stick with the Gadgetzan, it's likely just gonna push like 14, 15 damage easy.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Yep. Dande, you have anything else for Mr. Cinder here?
No, I mean, well played. Obviously, anytime you get a win, it feels good, and congrats again, and good luck the rest of the season.
Thank you very much.
All right, thanks for jumping out with us, and congratulations.
All right, enjoy the rest of the cast, guys.
See ya. Okay, that was fun.
That was fun.
That was a good interview.
Definitely a good series, good interview. Yeah, it's nice to get his insights, or anyone's insights really, as far as the deck building. It's always nice to pick people's brain.
Yeah, and Cinder's an awfully nice guy.
Makes me feel bad that you misspelled his name.
Believe me, I feel bad. And we know Cinder's a really nice guy just from like Discord, and he's just one of those dudes that can like see everybody's point of view. Like, it's really rare to have that, like, as a human being, just to be like open and to everything and be like, yeah, I can totally empathize with that point of view. Like, I can't do that, so he's just a better person than me, I guess.
Praise Cinder.
Praise Cinder. What a guy. All right, let's get up to our next match now that I'm done praising people for being good human beings. Feels good.
Definitely shout out to Imposition too. He played well. It was a good series overall. Definitely don't want to take anything away from him. Nothing to be ashamed of there.
Apparently you're coming in quiet too, so I'm gonna see if there's something I could do to boost you. Maybe I'll turn up Discord a little bit. All right, so we got Stephanie and Suzuru coming up next. Does Steffi add me here? She sure did. All right, cool. So, yeah, we can let them know that they're ready to go. When we have the bands, I will update them.
I do have the bands for you.
Ooh, so what did Stephanie ban of Suzuru's? Or Steffi, sorry.
Yeah, we only do screen names here, right?
Oh, I'm sorry,
As
George.
obvious as they may be. Ouch. Oh, now everyone knows.
Sorry, is the FBI listening?
Get out of my computer, NSA.
Yeah, sorry.
So the Warlock for Suzuru is banned, and Steffi's Druid is banned.
Okay. If Dande's FBI monitor is watching, he is a good boy. He never does anything wrong. Okay. All right, cool. So yeah, I mean, so then we have Mage, Rogue, Warlock versus Druid, Paladin, Shaman, which I kind of like the situation that Suzuru's Paladin is in. You know, it gets to go up against, you know, obviously Mage isn't great, but it's got its shot at Rogue. You know, so it actually gets in there, and that's, I think, what you want.
Yep.
If you're
It's
Suzuru.
not great against Warlock. Even in Zoo is not a positive matchup for it, but Cube is. Though I would think that we're more likely to see either the Heal Zoo or even Warlock, as those are the two most prevalent versions of the class nowadays.
Yeah. I'm upset with the Rag matches because we don't get to see the deck lists.
That is unfortunate, though. I mean, I think knowing that this is the championship and knowing, you know, the meta has been what it has been for a while now, I think when we see what types of decks they're playing, we can reasonably assume most of the cards. I think probably 29 out of 30 cards in most cases. So I think we'll have a pretty good idea regardless of, you know, not knowing the specifics of the deck list.
Yeah. It's just fun to be able to look at the deck lists and be like, we know exactly what cards are coming. Like, and it makes my job as an average caster so much easier.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely nice, but you know, it's kind of like we're going to crank it up to hard mode here, and we're going to have to cast a little bit on feels rather than just the reels that we see in the deck list.
Oh man, you just hit me with feels v reels.
It's an important distinction.
Oh man, I feel all kinds of things right now.
So speaking of reels, do we want to take a look at what each of these players has done throughout the entire season so far?
Oh, we can, but I don't have the graphic.
Didn't make my graphic.
No, I didn't have time. I'm sorry, but you can talk about it. Go ahead. You did all this hard work.
Now I have feels that are turning into reels.
Hold
sadness.
on. I could probably. You know what? I can edit. I can edit.
Well, while they're getting pulled up on screen, I guess I'll talk about it here. So I just wanted to go over what Steffi and Suzuru did over the course of the season. So Steffi was 7-3, and in game score, she was 24-16, which is a 60% win rate. Hopefully you'll see up on screen here shortly. She played 11 weeks out of the 12, or I'm sorry, 10 weeks out of the 11 so far. She was off in week 7. And she's
I think they're in now.
Are they in? Okay.
No, they're not.
In the last
Never mind.
3 weeks. Anyway, 9-1 in the last 3 weeks, only losing one game to our Kizar last week in the semifinals.
All right, I got it.
Perfect. So she's definitely on a roll right now. And if we look at the opponents that she lost to throughout the course of the season, there's only 3 of them. There was DZB, Banja in week 8. There's one more. I can't read it. Can you read it for me?
You're really gonna make me do this?
You're right. I am.
It's this guy named Dande.
That's right.
Really interesting fact about Dande. He is the biggest pain in my ass out of all the pains in my asses.
So
fun fact.
You guys are all welcome for that because I know he's a pain to all of you. So
anyways,
somebody has to keep him in his place sometimes.
I get it.
So moving on to Suzuru, he is 5-1. Jumped in the middle of the season. I believe he replaced Excelsior Casey Clark, as you may know him in Discord, in week 6, and he's played every week since week 6. And 5-1, you know, is pretty impressive. With his only loss being to Starlax in week 7, which was unfortunately a sweep. But over the last 4 weeks, you know, 12-6 is definitely strong. So 15-11 overall, 58% is very, very good.
And look who he's beating too. Like he's beating Surlos, he's beating Switters. Like
Oh yeah,
these are good players in the league. He's just like
yeah.
stomp, stomp, stomp.
Switters
Yeah.
and KD 12, 15 in the last 2 weeks. Obviously, you're only going to play good players in playoffs.
Right.
That's just the way it goes. Those are 2 very impressive wins.
Yeah.
Like to have on your resume. That's amazing.
Obviously, Stephanie has quality wins too. Don't get me wrong. She's beaten Rakizar, Plants. She beat Blue Sombrero. Blue Sombrero is a phenomenal player, so she's got her
losing to
quality
Banja
wins
is
too.
in no way a slight. Banja had an MVP quality season.
Yeah.
If not for some guy named Brewski or whatever, I don't know.
Yeah, I think the only scrub she really lost to is week 6 against
Ouch.
Dundee. Against Dundee. That's how you say that, right?
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean that's like the only loss that she should get back, But other than that, pretty respectable losses.
Yeah, I think. This just goes to show. I expect this to be a high-level match. I wouldn't be shocked if it went 5. And as you guys probably know by now, this is the first match of the finals too. So we're currently sitting at 0-0. This is how, this is how you want to kick it off with a fantastic match to open.
Yeah. And then this is the last Friday night fights of the season for Darkside, except for Darkstone when I do Darkstone. But I'm pretty happy about taking the rest of summer off. I don't know about you, Donde, but
well, I'll be casting on Sunday, so I'm not quite going to be taking the summer off yet.
Oh man, I can't wait. But then it's back to school.
Which is good for me because my wife is a teacher.
Oh man, it's not good for me because I have to do schoolwork and dad stuff.
Well, what do you say we get this going? Should we get a message out to them to queue up?
I thought that was already done.
Oh no, I was just having fun talking with you.
Oh man, Donde, you're killing me. All right, I'll take Stephanie. Steffi, you take Sazuru.
All right, let's see what we get.
Okay. So we're gonna have Steffi on the bottom and Suzuru up on the top. I was waiting for them, and I thought you were on top of your game, production assistant.
You got to give me more orders than that, man. You're too busy insulting me over here. It's just hurting me.
Oh, so you're blaming me?
I just don't know what I do right anymore.
So you're saying that words hurt you? Like, I made you
Yeah.
feel some kind of way with just my words?
I just don't understand why you got to be that way.
I don't know, man. I really don't. I think I was dropped a few times as a child.
So are we going to see Steffi on top here, or will it be Suzuru on top?
It's going to be Suzuru on top.
Your soul shall be mine.
Just waiting for a spec invite from Suzuru.
And my client is loading the game right now.
Okay, and then we will transition. Okay, so we got Heals You from Steffi versus most likely Shutterwalk Shaman from Suzuru. So Steffi's in a good position right off the bat because, again, Shutterwalk Shaman, you want to be the aggressor. I kind of like keeping the happy goal in case you get any heal cards, but, that can go. Well, she got it back anyways. It's like almost the same exact hand she threw away. Have you noticed that?
It is, actually. Just the Fungal Mancer for the Serenite?
Well, did she have the Voidwalker too? I thought it was the Voidwalker for the Serenite. I thought she had the Fungal Mancer.
You might be right. I jumped into it at the tail end right as it was getting kicked out of her hand. Good draw with the Light Warden there.
Got to get those Life Wardens in, man. They're just Wardens of Life. Oh, this is an interesting deck. What
are we looking at here? Is this like an aggro shaman? No, it can't be. You wouldn't have Volcano in an aggro shaman.
No, I don't know. Like, This is I've never seen this before, Shaman. You got Unstable Evolution, you got the Corridor Creeper. Ah,
Uh,
I think you just wait for like a free Corridor Creeper, then you like what, evolve it into a 10/10 on turn 4. I mean that's okay, I guess.
I need something to show up in this deck to tell me what it is.
Yes. Right now we just don't know. It could be anything. It could be Corridor Creeper, Unstable Evolution Shaman. That's a deck, right?
You know, I, I as much as a loss of words I'm at right now, I remember watching a few games where Suzuru's been on stream, and I do remember he's kind of come up with some stuff that's a little bit out of the ordinary. So I guess I'm not surprised to see that there is some interesting choices in this deck. This isn't even interesting choices in the deck. This is an interesting deck choice, period, with all these cards. I just don't know how they're all going to interact, and hopefully we'll find out soon.
Ironfire in chat just says he's going to playoffs, ranked 30th in Americas. Congratulations, Ironfire. That's huge.
Yes, absolutely.
Congratulations. We'll root for you, man.
There's the Corridor Creeper coming down on 4 here. Well, it's not going to get evolved, at least not this turn.
But it's not going to get cleared either. And if you're Steffi, I mean, you got a whole bunch of stuff. You got to play something.
Honestly, her hand is pretty heavy for Zoo. A lot of 3, 4, 5 cost cards. It's not ideal for sure.
So are we going to see a bump? Well, there's the Life Drinker, so I mean, this still could be Shutterwalk, but then I don't understand what the Corridor Creeper Unstable Evolution is for.
Yeah, it doesn't really seem to have any sort of interplay with anything that you would normally see in a Shutterwalk deck.
Alright, coining out the Life Wardens, okay. I'm not stopping that, by the way. It's a Life Warden.
I just say I didn't know if you did it on purpose or not. I think it's good because that's going to pretty much guarantee Fungal Mancer is going to hit 2 things here next turn.
Yeah. Yes, sirree, Bob.
Well, we just saw Shutterwalk, so it's a Shutterwalk deck, but
what is
it might not be a combo Shutterwalk deck. Maybe it's just Shutterwalk is just a piece to make the board huge. It's maybe not the end game.
I mean, there's a Life Drinker, so I have a hard time believing that. I think you bump in and just start evolving, right? I mean, you can't do anything else. I mean, you could Volcano, I guess? Yeah, and this is all you need to get to 10 is 3 mana. I mean, you'll never lose the board from that point once you get a 10 drop on it on turn 5.
Yeah, with the Zoo, they don't really have much of a way to clear off anything single target, of course. Well, okay.
Interesting decision to hold there. Because now Steffi can just bump in her 2-1 into the 2-3, and then develop the Despicable Dreadlord and clear off the board and push 2 damage.
Yeah, that's a nice smooth play. I think that's probably the way to go. As much as you want to get that Fungal Mancer down, I think that's the right move to make sure there's nothing on board.
I mean, you can still develop the Fungal Mancer and push 4 damage, so that's not terrible.
Yeah, another option, another alternate play would be Light Warden, Life Drinker, Happy Cool, if you really want to throw down maximum board presence.
That plays too much into Volcano.
It does. It's definitely not ideal, which is why I would not have recommended it first. But
yeah,
it was an option if she felt like going wide was the right plan there.
Yeah. Even Despicable Dreadlord and one Saronite on the board, it feels really terrible volcanoing that board. Like, this board, I think you're okay with volcanoing this board, but, yeah, I like just keeping the board to 2 minions. I mean, technically, Saronite Chain Gang is just 1 minion because it's 1 card, but you know what I mean. Does he start doing the evolution things? I mean, like, that's what that card is in your deck specifically for the Corridor Creeper, right?
I can't imagine a situation that it would be used elsewhere. Yeah, I'm not really sure. This deck is definitely throwing me for a loop.
Well, hopefully we get a chance to ask him about it. Well, you just saw a volcano come out, so I mean, you can pretty much safely assume that there isn't another volcano in hand. So you can go wide if you want to. We know with the ability of spectate that there is another volcano in hand, so any boards that go wide will be punished. But I think if you're Steffi, you can make the read that there's probably not a volcano and go somewhat wide.
Yeah, I think Light Warden, Voodoo, Life Drinker, and the Happy Goal gets you on board immediately and back into a strong position. I think the thing she's got to be thinking is, first of all, what am I going against? And what's their game plan? Do they have more options to clear my board over and over? But at the same time, as Zulok, the deeper the game goes, the less powerful you become. So I think that she probably has to commit to get it going here, and we might just see that second volcano come right down after it.
Which, I mean, you're kind of fine with because you just have so many minions, right?
It's true, and of course with Life Tap, it's going to continue to generate more resources for you. I think the other big thing too would be, she has Gul'dan. I know not every Zoo deck runs that. In fact, a lot of them cut it, but that's another board refill with the Despicable Dreadlords, the Voidwalkers. So it is possible that she has another refill right after that would be a strong play.
Yeah.
Though that's still a few turns away, of course.
Yeah. So he's gonna try to. So I like not using the volcano, right? Because certainly if your opponent had a volcano, maybe he would have played it. So you could probably bait her on board a little bit more.
Yeah, you can definitely take that route.
At the cost of 6 damage to your face.
I mean, again, this is a situation where if you're not quite sure what your opponent's end game really is, how do you know what to commit at what stage of the game?
It's true. I think now you can get the feeling that it's probably a Shutter Walk.
I mean, that's the safe assumption. Obviously, it was not even, which you know at the outset by the fact that Gen did not show up. And the only other deck in the meta right now for Shaman is Shutterwalk, so you have to operate on that assumption. But as I was saying, it might not be a Shutterwalk full combo end you on one turn. It might just be a Shutterwalk make a bunch of big stuff. But at this point, I don't even know if it's going to get there. We might not end up actually seeing what the Shutterwalk deck is all about.
Yeah, and she doesn't really need to commit more to the board than what's already here. I don't know if I like that Soulfire. I don't know what that does.
Well, I guess in theory it could set up a potential lethal next turn. Well,
because the minion couldn't trade past the Tar Creeper anyways. Why am I so bad with card names?
That I cannot answer for you, my friend.
Okay, I mean, she's going to fill right back up on 1-drops, which is going to be pretty good for her because both volcanoes are gone. So you can go as wide as you'd like.
Yeah, it's definitely a good position for Steffi to be in right now, knowing that she has that capability.
Yep.
But I actually,
you can Voodoo Doctor and Happy Goal here. I like it. Oh no. What is going on here?
I think she's avoiding playing into too much with the Wild Powermancer out there, which I think makes sense if for whatever reason that can be healed. I don't know. It doesn't seem like something you'd want to play totally around, because the most that they can do is clear things that have 2 health, because then the 3/2 will die.
Is that what Unstable Evolution is in there for? Just for procs on...
Yeah, and the Ancestral Healing as well.
Wild Pyro? I guess that's what it is. And he's just gonna go way up there.
I mean, you're committed at this point. There's nothing else to play other than maybe the second Wild Pyro if you want to put that on board. But what do you follow it up with? You might as well just get as much value out of Unstable Evolution as you can.
Unstable Evolution was almost bad. It was almost pretty rough. Oh man, I like going, just go so wide here. You know you want to, Steffi.
Yeah, I think there's a strong likelihood we just see Shutterwalk come down next turn. But what is it even going to proc? There's just a life drinker. That's it.
I wonder.
So what? I really don't know. I made the comment in the pregame here that we were probably going to see decks that were proven, and that's not what we're getting here at all. In fact, quite the opposite.
Yeah, we're not getting... Well, I mean, you're getting it with Heal Zoo, right? Like...
Oh, certainly, yeah. It's a fairly new deck, of course, but one that I'm sure anybody who's played Ladder in the last 2 weeks has played dozens of times at the very least.
It's really weird how this deck came out, right? Like, this deck just came out of nowhere so late in the cycle.
Yeah, Zoo is one of those decks that always has some sort of viability. Maybe it's not tier 1 or even tier 2, but it's always kind of lurking somewhere, and it definitely plays better when you've got other Warlock decks that are heavily in rotation too. So you've got, Shutterwalk obviously is a very slow, or that's a Shaman deck. I'm sorry, Q-Block is a very slow Warlock deck by comparison, and you can just catch somebody out with the Zoo, which is what happened those first 2 days. I think anybody who was playing it just had no idea what they were about to face, and it slowed down once they were no longer surprising people with it.
Do we have lethal here? 7? No.
No, I don't think so.
Not
2,
even
4,
close.
7, 12, yeah.
You could still develop.
Actually, attacking with the 3/2 first, flip the other ones, 4, 11. No, not there yet. Carry on.
Carry on. Yeah, because flipping the other ones doesn't help you. It makes them weaker.
No, I wanted to believe, but for some reason my brain was reading the 2 ones as a 1/2, and it's just a whole thing.
Oh, so you're like me and you see numbers backwards. I mean, you could push 7 damage. 7 plus 4. No, 7 plus 7 is 14, so you have 14 damage.
Whew, that's a spicy draw right there. I think there has to be some sort of board interaction here. I don't think she can just go straight face with it at this point, knowing with only 12 damage or 12 health left, she has to avoid any sort of burst.
Yep. Ooh, Hagatha is gross.
That's the top deck if I've ever seen one right there.
That's just gross. Spirit Echo's
And
not
Spirit
great.
Echo, actually I don't find it to be that bad. It's going to proc the Wild Pyro, so anything with low cost or low health total is going to die to it.
Yep, I like Life Drinker Doomguard.
Plus, Spirit Echo is going to give more minions to hand, which will continue to generate spells off Agatha. So I don't think it's that bad of a card in this situation.
It's not bad, but it's not great.
But clearing off that corridor creeper, that's some next level stuff out of Steffi.
Yeah, I like clearing the
Making
corridor
sure that
creeper.
you don't get the Spirit Echo.
Oh,
value,
wow.
which you could have not possibly known.
Now that's a good card.
Yeah, that's going to clear
The Doomguard.
the Doomguard for sure, and
Yep.
get another draw off of the Acolyte. Wow.
That's a
I think
good card.
I think we're starting to see the deck come together a little bit here. You get random cards, and then you do random things, and it works.
So is this like Casino Shaman?
I think it might be.
Oh, I don't know if I like leaving that Doomguard alive. Like, is there an out to lethal?
Well, she has one Soulfire left in the deck, but even then, that's still a ways off.
But what about... Oh, she's probably not playing Leroy because she's got the Doomguards.
Some people play 1 and 1 just for...
two.
Well, we've always seen 2 as well. Yep. So guess not. That's a good back-to-back draw right there. Like getting double value off the Fungalmancer rather than just one minion is nice.
Yes.
And now it's out of Tidal Surge range too, which is pretty huge.
But the Healing Rain pickup is pretty big. But it's not, though, because he's got the other Wild Pyromancer.
That's true. It did go back to hand from Spirit Echo. Also, Glacial Shard can end the turn with a freeze, which is nice.
Yep.
A path dimly lit.
But if you're Suzuru, right, eventually you're going to run out of stall, right? And Steffi's bound to start getting through at some point, because his inevitability with Shutterwalk is gone.
She only has 5 cards left in her deck.
Oh, that's true.
You can only life tap for so long before you end up, within lethal range of whatever random assortment of spells Suzuru manages to rip off of Hagatha.
That's true.
There's plenty of damage spells in there for Shaman to go face with. We saw Lava Burst pop up last game, Lightning Bolt's a possibility too.
Yeah, that's all true.
Rock Biter, another option. Yeah, there's definitely good options in there.
What if we discovered
Blazing Invocation too?
Another Shutterwalk with the Blazing Invocation? It's more likely than not that you will.
Because of the card pool and because of the frequency rates on class cards, yeah, it's definitely up there. Also, Grumble.
You never hold anymore. You're playing everything to hand.
Without a doubt, you have to.
Yeah, you're not holding anything anymore. All right, let's see that Blazing Invocation.
He's also got 2 or 3 Earth hand move. 2 Earth
shots.
Oh,
you take the Shutterwalk every time.
Yeah, the Shutterwalk is going to get 2 Life Drinker procs, so that would be 6 damage, 6
But it
healing.
brings his inevitability back.
Absolutely. And I guess, is there a world where you pick Void Ripper? I don't think so.
Yeah.
I guess the thing he might be thinking at this point, okay, if I leave the current state of the board, I'm taking 9 damage guaranteed next turn, but I'm also healing 6 from the Shutterwalk. So really it's effectively only taking 3. Steffi can't find 11 damage in the next 2 cards. No to the Shutterwalk. At least not this turn anyway.
Yeah, well, he hasn't played any Grumbles or anything like that, so he's probably like, okay, I start clearing the board, I go for Grumbles, and
I think he's dedicated himself to Fatigue at this point and said, she's down to 3 cards, 2 now, and he's got a value generator in that hero power.
Yeah,
it's a smart play. I mean, he's got the heals for Healing Rains in his hand. He's got he had a second Tidal Surge.
How many?
He already played both of those.
How many cards is he holding in his hand? Can you make him? You can make him
He's
draw.
got 6 right now.
And you can make him draw 3. That's not enough to overdraw him. Not like it matters, but it kind of catches you somewhat up in Fatigue. But you're still, the disparity of 6 to 3 is huge.
Yeah, I think ultimately this is pretty brilliantly played by Suzuru. Steffi had no way to predict what was going to come out of this deck, no idea what exactly the game plan was, and I think he's gonna get there, and the Fatigue is going to be the reason.
Yeah. Taking an aggro deck to Fatigue, what a time to be alive.
I guess in a way, Warlock does help you get there. The life tap draws cards and damages you, so it's helping you in a way ultimately. But
yeah,
man, this is to see a game 1 like this in the finals is.
Oh, this is only game 1.
Could not be more exciting.
Buckle up. What do you get here? I don't know what this deck is. I really don't. Well, there's Zola.
So much flavor.
Oh, if only people knew. Well, that's just game over anyways. You don't need the value out of that.
Well, the Dark Reaper will, I guess... Oh, no. I'm just trying to think of a way, but it's not to be, unfortunately. I think Sazuru is going to take game 1 here. What
Yeah.
a deck. I am stunned, impressed, pretty much any adjective you can throw at the wall right now.
Just playing casual ice fishings from your hand because, you know, why not?
Yeah, you got a clear space. How long indeed?
I'm just going to
Apparently
toss out
that
4 mana just to do nothing. Like, that's when you know you're in such a dominant position. I'm paying 4 mana to literally do nothing. Wow.
I guess at this point we cannot expect the status quo anymore.
What is the status quo? I don't even know. Like,
Well, it certainly wasn't that deck.
but you know what? It got the job done.
It very much got the job done. Yeah, and like you said, you likened it to Casino Mage. It definitely was living on a prayer in that regard, and that prayer was very much answered.
Casino Shaman. You heard it. You saw it here first, boys and girls.
Time to be alive.
People.
This is the last 3 weeks of the meta that, you know, that I guess it's just gonna be random decks.
And
So it looks like we're looking at Token Druid for the most part for
But with-
Sazuru here.
Leroy Jenkins. I mean, do you really need the Leroy that bad?
No, not typically. But you know what? I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt because what happened last game.
I think Suzuru's taking the, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing route. Oh, getting that Spreading Plague is huge.
Yep, the Wild Growth pickup is nice. Yeah, that's not a terrible hand. I mean, you'd hope to pick up a Nourish at some point here in the first few draws, but yeah, I think it's a good start.
Remember when, like, Zoo used to counter Druid completely?
Yeah, that was a time before Spreading Plague.
Good times.
Well, I think Steffi's going to have a pretty powerful turn coming up here between the heal, Light Warden, and the Happy Ghoul coming. Oh,
Never mind, you hold
maybe
up.
not. Maybe you, yeah. Well, I mean, you can still play the Keleseth and the Voodoo Doctor and Happy Ghoul and not get the Light Warden value, but that's okay, I think, in this case.
Or you can just Kelseth Light Warden.
Yeah, you can do that for sure.
It's a little weak to Spellstone, but it's fine otherwise. Wow.
Oh, that Nourish right on time.
Oh, baby. And he's
That's
got...
bring that Tyrant down, too. Yeah, that is a great turn. Gets him
Yeah.
one step closer to the Ultimate Infestation. He has the opportunity now to not only Spreading Plague, but also could just play Malfurion.
Yep, you can just play Malfurion right on curve. Oh,
Yeah, that's a great way to keep board control against
gonna hold
the
the
deck where a
Tyrant.
lot of the minions are going to be 2 or 3 health.
yeah, I guess he's going to hold the Tyrant there. That's interesting.
Yeah, maybe he wants to play it behind the Spreading Plague, so that way it can trade with a few minions instead of potentially just dying.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got Soulfire. He knows that Soulfire's in the deck, obviously. Doesn't know it's in her hand, but I don't know if that's the best use for it.
This is going to be a feels bad turn for Steffi, because this Spreading Plague is coming down.
You can definitely see the way she's considering whether or not to play out the Fungal Enchanter and play into the Spreading Plague, but 4 minions out there is kind of already enough anyway for the Spreading Plague to get value. Yeah, once you've committed to the heal, you're committing to the Happy Ghoul.
Yep, and here comes the most disgusting Spreading Plague in Hearthstone history. Let's just
A little hyperbole.
press our Fs now, boys. I expect to see a spam of F in the next 10 minutes from now. I want to see Fs all the way up the chat. Spreading Plague is such a stupid card. It turns out I don't like a lot of cards in Hearthstone. Maybe that's why I run a tournament where we kick cards out of the game.
Yeah, Spreading Plague is definitely a frustrating one.
The Fungalmancer is going to help trade into some of the 5 health minions.
Well, between that and having the Light Warden already on board, yeah, it could be worse, but knowing that the Malfurion is there to follow it up, it's still going to be a tough hill to climb, I think.
Yeah, Malfurion's going to follow it up, and then you got Ultimate Infest. I mean, is there a world where you just Nourish to set up the Ultimate Infestation?
You could do that. I guess looking at how much damage you're going to take next turn, 2 5s have to go in. That's going to be at least in the teens of damage, and then you're on a really thin line there, especially with the fact that she's got Soulfire in hand. If she picks up a Dreadlord,
Yeah, Dreadlord would be nice.
by Dreadlord I mean Doomguard. I apologize.
That would be nice too.
What if?
I think you just Malfurion here, right? Oh,
Well,
he's
looks like he's going to take your route. At least thinking about it. It does allow you to then play the branching paths on top of it.
yeah, which does
Yep.
give you better trades out of your beetles, your scarabs.
Yeah, and it gets 2 cards out of your hand. Definitely clears you up for a UI next turn.
Well, if you're gonna play the path, I don't know. Yeah, I kind of like the Nourish if you're gonna play the path. Maybe he wants to save it for card draw after. All right, we're just going in already. Taking all the value bumps we can. I like it. Value bumps. Value bumps.
Yeah, that sets it up in a rough spot now because Steffi has to trade down essentially into anything.
Yep.
She can certainly protect herself with Tar Creeper. I think the thing that I don't like now is that you're kind of in no man's land mana wise for Suzuru. You're 1 mana too short for UI, and you aren't going to get value if you use Nourish for crystals, which would be insane at this point to use it for cards when you get UI in hand. So it's definitely setting up for Malfurion hero power next turn. That's really your only option, unless you draw something relevant to play alongside of it.
Yep. Yep. Well, I mean, the
But what-
Malfurion's not going to be terrible because you can get the
Oh,
3
oh, God.
attack.
No, it's perfectly fine play. I don't have a problem with that as a play. It just, I guess maybe the mana management, so to speak, would have been an option to kind of navigate that a little bit differently.
We got some rivalry going on in chat between TNL and Vonk, which,
Love it.
we spent some time with Team Next Level last season, so, we're familiar with Team Next Level. But, we're going to be impartial and biased. Go Team Next Level.
I think professionalism amongst casters is very important, and I will not support either team.
you always got to hang me out to dry like that.
What kind of good teammate would I be if I didn't?
That's a good point. I still like Steffi's position here, to be 100% honest with you. Like, this board is so wide and fat. Like, I don't know, like, outside of, like, yeah, UI is going to do you a little bit of work there, but, like, you're probably going to pick up your second Spreading Plague, right? So, who am I kidding?
Well, there's 20 cards left in the deck. Even a UI, only, 1 out of 20. It's not a great chance.
Oh, that swipe is just...
Well, I should say it's 5 out of 20 for drawing it. But even then, you play it, and you probably just die this next turn anyway.
Do you die if you play the UI?
Well, you get 5 armor, it goes to 23. If you hit the 7-2, you're going to take 2, 7, 12, 15, 18, 21. So you're not dead unless she has more damage from hand, which haven't seen a Doom Guard yet. So there's 2 of those. I've seen 1 Soulfire, so there's 1 more of those left. Another Fungal Mancer's out there. So there's a lot of stuff in her deck that just immediately kills you.
Do you
if
ever
play it
just
out.
like nourish or you have to branching paths for 2 draws to hope to get Spreading Plague?
If you don't UI, I think you have to include Swipe to clear some stuff, because you can clear at least 10 damage worth in the 7-2 and the 3-1.
Yeah.
And then you can weave in hero power and armor from the branching paths to keep you alive. But that's a turn that keeps you alive and doesn't necessarily progress you to your end game, which is, of course, dropping your opponent to 0 health.
Isn't that always your end game?
No, there are some decks that just intend to only make you angry. Neither draw there is what she wants to see for immediate damage, but
Yeah.
I think she's going to play both Dreadlord and Flame Imp come down. I mean, she hasn't seen Spreading Plague last turn. She can safely assume it's not there this turn. And we're back to the same situation that Suzaru was in last turn, where UI doesn't put you into safety.
Nope.
And obviously, hindsight being 2020, we know that if he had UI'd, he would not have died from the lack of draws that Steffi picked up. But I think that might have been the right play, just because that at least gives you the best chance to turn around and win the game later by picking up the Spreading Plague. But now you're still 1 turn removed from being able to even save yourself.
Well,
Yeah, the only thing that was saving him there was picking up Spreading Plague.
yeah. He's just dead.
Yeah, it's going to be even 1-1 after this, unless he's got the Arcane Tyrants with Charge or Rush.
Well, if it makes him
Last
feel
I
any
heard, they
better.
haven't made that card yet.
You win. I can
Yeah.
rest now.
Yep, we got an even 1-1 here. We're gonna pick up a win with the zoo coming in alive there, and really well played by Steffi by finding ways to push damage, stay alive, get through the most disgusting Spreading Plague in the history of Hearthstone. Like a 6 minion Spreading Plague, that's insane. Like, and she found a way to fight through. So good for her. Great win.
I feel like you haven't played that many Druids, my friend.
They've kind of fallen off a bit on ladder, especially the ones that play Spreading Plague.
Hey, you haven't been playing ladder with me then.
But, I'm just a scrub playing ladder at rank 4. Feels bad, man.
Well, as the Philosopher's TLC once said, I don't want no scrubs.
Yes. I'm not playing in Dumpster Legend like some guy named Dande.
Where's that line? Where's the Dumpster Legend line for you?
Dumpster Legend? Where are you?
589 right now.
The line is 588.
I should have seen that coming. I absolutely walked face first into that one.
Yeah, right in. You threw it underhand, man. I had to just knock it out of the park.
All right, I'll give you a point for that one.
All right.
Looks like Steffi's going to queue up the Rogue, and we're going to see Rogue versus Paladin.
Yeah, and this is the matchup you want. What is going on here?
Well, it's definitely an odd Paladin. Cards, I mean, not in quality.
Well, it's definitely odd, too, because there's the Devilsaur egg. Like, is this Hunter? Question mark?
I mean, what? I guess, like,
How do you
buff
trigger...
the egg up. You
With-
can buff it up with Blessing of Might, with Blessing of Kings.
No, you can't do Blessing of Kings.
I mean, you could if you want your deck to be broken. Fungal Mancer, obviously, another choice, but you're right. Obviously, Blessing of Kings is not a possibility.
Yeah, oof.
This is a strong opening hand for Steffi. Unfortunately, Rogue does not fare very well in general against Paladin, but it's one of the better hands that you can hope for, having the Hench Clan and having 1-drops. And I think this is honestly the right move, coining out and getting
Yeah.
as much on board as you possibly can. That's something that a lot of people don't do. They try to save that coin, especially rogues, for combos.
No, you want to just contest all the one drops, but which kind of like unfortunate for Steffi is that she's going to contest all these one drops into like a free Tar Creeper.
Yeah, they're just going to keep coming. That's Paladin. It just does not stop putting stuff on the board, and she's going to have to compete with that.
Yep. It's frustrating to say the least when you're on the other side of it, like, because all they do is press a button, they get two dudes on the board that can become threats based off of like buff cards that are in the deck. Like we're talking Level Up, the Blessing of Might, Fungal Mancer, Stonehill Defenders that they find off a Stonekeeper every time. Raid Leader, Stormwind Champion. Have I named enough threats?
I think you've named pretty much all of them, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, you take these little 1/1 dudes, you make them into serious threats, and it can be frustrating to play against, but it's not as oppressive as Paladin once was with the Call to Arms, so it's manageable.
And that creeper just continues to get cheaper and cheaper with every minion that dies, of course, and when they're easily replaceable, you don't mind just throwing them away.
In the dungeon, I go deeper. In set reviews, I was a sleeper. When minions die, I get cheaper. You guessed it. I'm Corridor Creeper.
I'm upset that I forgot about that until right now.
And, I mean, wow, you could develop the Egg, the Creeper, and this Righteous Protector.
I think the Creeper's definitely coming down no matter what. The Egg doesn't put pressure, which is the only downside, but with Fungal Mancer in hand, it will put pressure next turn.
It's gonna stick.
I think that's a clear signal to Steffi, though, that he's got an option to make it worthwhile next turn.
He should have traded to make it like -2 mana, right? But that's neither here nor there.
That's not how it works, is it?
I don't know, isn't it?
Well, I guess it's just as much as like Sazuru having played it in his deck.
I mean, like the Fungal Mancer, not the Fungal Mancer, I'm sorry. The Corridor Creeper, like it gets 1 mana less when minions die, right? So if it's at 0, minions die, it gets to the negative manas. Is that not how that card works?
Yeah, I mean, I guess technically you could go up to 99, right? Have an overflow.
And then you get to, I don't know, you take mana burn? LOL. Alright, it's enough.
We've gone far past.
I got my Fs.
Joke.
I got my Fs.
I know you've been waiting for that.
I got my Fs. Thank you, guys. Hench Clan. I like Hench Clan here into the South Sea. Just, make a big dude.
That does like what she's going to do. I think that is the right play.
Yeah. I mean, she's going to be in a real... Ooh, Raid Leader's cool too, but Fungal Mancer's just better. And you take some fat trades, and like you're just so far ahead here.
She's in such good control. Divine Favor doesn't get as much value in this matchup, obviously, since Odd Rogue is trying to just, use as many cards, use as many cards as possible, I should say, but not going to be keeping a large hand. That she might just try to get a draw or two out of it. I think at this point.
Well, Sazuru is going to get some cards out of it, right?
Because by she, I mean he. I apologize. Sazuru,
it's all right.
Your gender.
You're okay. It happens. But the Blink Fox doesn't help empty the hand. She's gonna want to make a weapon. So Sazuru could play the Raid Leader and then the Divine Favor, and draw at least what? He'll have 1 card in hand, so he'll draw 3 cards. That's...
If the card, if what he plays is, or he's gonna get something playable, be it the Raid Leader or whatever he draws. So yeah.
Yep, you Raid Leader, Divine Favor, draw mad cards.
2018 Raid Leader is a card in a meta deck.
What a wonderful time to be alive.
It's crazy. It really is. And I mean, I didn't even start playing Hearthstone until after Raid Leader was no longer like a thing you played when you had a reasonable collection. So it's kind of interesting for me to go backwards in time.
This is a reasonable turn for Steffi.
I think so too, and of course, getting rid of the Raid Leader is priority 1 here, and putting herself in a position where she can then follow up and get rid of the 5/5 that pops out of the egg, also very important.
Yeah, but the thing is she has to use her face too much, and that's the trouble you run into with Odd Rogue, is having to use your weapon instead of hitting them in the face, you're hitting minions with your face, and you're just in a position where you don't play taunts, you don't play heal, so anything that Azure gets to stick to the board and then get buffed is immediately going to put lethal pressure on Steffi. So even though she's going to be able to catch up a little bit on board, it's not going to be in a great position.
Yeah, it's definitely it doesn't feel good to just feel the game sliding away from you slowly but surely.
Please don't call me Shirley.
Classic reference.
I am, and don't call me Shirley. And then this is where it gets just really out of hand.
Should the Vine Cleaver probably have gone into the...
What did it hit?
Hit the Dire Mole. No,
That's probably fine. Yeah, it had 4 health.
Yep, okay. For some reason, I thought it had less health than that and could have been cleared the other way, saving a point of damage, but I was incorrect.
Now this is where Paladin gets to run away with the game. Turns like 8 after the Vine Cleaver because... What did he get the weapon here? Divine Shield. He's
well,
gonna...
Even just Vine Cleaver, Hero Power, Life level up is just backbreaking at this point.
Yeah, but he doesn't even have to do that. He could just Vine Cleaver level up, and that's still...
Yep, absolutely.
Pretty good.
It's not lethal, but it might as well be.
Yeah. Ooh.
No level up. I'm kind of surprised. I mean, I don't think it's going to alter the landscape of the game terribly.
Well, I mean, you got the Purifier's Maul for the
Ooh.
Divine Shield, so yeah.
Very true. Yeah, those things are never going to die at this point.
Never. You can make a giant Edwin.
I guess if you're sitting there as Azure, your thought process is the way I lose here is Phantom Knives, and now I don't.
Here's what
I think
happens.
a level up could have done that as well.
Here's what happens, right? You make a giant Edwin, your opponent gets spooked, and they concede.
You can always hope for the DC.
Yeah, your opponent gets spooked, and they concede. Like, you just... I remember one time I was scrimming, I made a giant Edwin, and my opponent got spooked.
Is that what happened?
Yeah.
I really doubt the validity of the story.
It was a total meme. I was like, why'd you concede? He's like, oh, the Edwin was spooky.
So is that essentially like the Yes Paladin?
Yes. What was the Yes Paladin again? I don't even remember.
All 1-cost spells, and then you you run the Skulking Geist, so you blow up your own deck. Then you emote.
Why? Why do that?
Because the people concede. Because you hit your win condition.
Okay. No. It was.
You want memes, man. I'm trying to give you memes.
That's a pretty good meme. I might run that at MCL next week.
I look forward to hearing your results.
Yep, you'll see it.
So Suzuru's up 2-1 now.
Yeah, and he's got the Token Druid. Steffi's going to stay on the Rogue, but Token Druid does very well against Rogue. If you're a Steffi and you're carrying the Big Mage, I mean, Big Mage might have been the way to go.
Yeah, I guess that might be a tell that that's not the deck that she's bringing, or has brought, I should say, would be the correct way to phrase it. She doesn't have a terrible opening hand. I mean, unfortunately, the Vilespine Slayer doesn't really have too many targets in Token Druid since there's not a whole lot of minions that are going to get played, and that is just not a good draw.
You never want to draw. You want that to be card 30 in every game.
Well, you know why it's called Baku, right?
I do not.
Well, you want it in the Baku of your deck.
Oh, that's a good one.
You made an awful joke earlier. I felt like I had to at least get one back.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was far worse than my joke.
Oh, it's terrible. The fledgling's right on time, though. That's got to come down for sure, even if it does get countered by a swipe.
Right on time.
I don't see why you wouldn't play it.
Right on time to get swiped. Yeah, because like fledgling doesn't get better the later in the game. Like a 3-mana 3/3 is already not great. You need it to connect.
It never feels good to play into your opponent's game plan, but at the same time, you can't always not play to your own game plan.
Yeah.
Which is obviously for Odd Rogue, getting things to stick eventually.
My apologies, I forgot to switch back. Oh no.
Switch back.
I forgot to switch screens. I'm just telling chat not to kill me.
Which screen are you showing?
Just our talking head screen. It's fine. We're good now. We're good. We're good, baby.
So they've been basically experiencing this game via radio for the
Yes!
first few minutes?
It's like how our grandparents experienced Hearthstone.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I remember gathering around the old radio and listening to Who Am I? None of Your Business.
Yeah. Well, you're so much older than me, so you would remember that.
Thanks. About one whole year, my friend.
We're talking like a lot older, like grossly older, like liver spots older.
I really like this play from Suzuru here.
Yeah.
We know that the Rogue can do nothing about a wide board, and that is very potent.
Yeah, wide boards are good.
And I think that's something that people tend not to do with Token Druid is, they want to hold the Whispering Woods for Soul of the Forest for turn 8, get, an impenetrable board, but by then you can often be dead, especially to a deck that's as aggressive as Odd Rogue. You're forcing the trades here, essentially, because if he's got Savage Roar, or heaven forbid, a double Savage Roar, the game literally just ends right now.
It does. I think with Wild Growth and Malfurion and the Pestilent in hand, you could go slower. You could Wild Growth into the Malfurion the next turn. Especially when your opponent has, well, I mean, she's got to use her face for some of it, but she does have ways to trade into this board. But I mean, you could still Soul the Forest this board and just be totally cool with that, right? I think you can. I don't know. What do I know?
It's definitely a possibility.
Because you Soul the Forest, you double trade in, you keep your 2/2s, you use your face to clear the 3/1, and then you ping off the 1/1 with your other one, and you're still in a pretty good spot. Yeah, I like it. Let's do it. Let's go.
I think the thing with Soul of the Forest, though, is you want to keep as many things on the board with the buff and not in their treant form as possible, obviously, for the potential that they present. So if using maybe Spellstone here, no, the Wild Growth looks like it's going to come down for Suzuru.
Yeah, I don't know if Wild Growth helps you at all.
Nope, he's pulling it back. He's going with your line.
Well, because it was my line, it is the correct line.
You could always use the Spellstone instead if you really wanted to avoid the face damage, but nope, he's going to Wild Growth. So after all that, had a change of heart.
You can Cold Blood Vile Spine and then kill off another 2/2 and then push, 3 damage?
Yeah, I'm not sure if there's a better play, but I don't think that's going to accomplish too much. It can clear the board, however.
Going for a clear board. Okay. Here comes Malfurion. And then the Spellstone. Unless you want to save the Spellstone for the teacher that's going to come down next turn.
Yeah, I think that's definitely the best use of it. Oh!
We're wrong. How does it feel to know that you know nothing at all?
I know things, it's just that they might not be the right things. In retrospect, a good play though, because that Cobalt was going to come down and get some eventual value on the 3/4. But I don't know. The problem to me is that isn't ever getting through your 1/5 taunt on the next turn. Like,
Yeah.
what are you afraid of? Why wouldn't you want to save that spellstone for your teacher? I don't know. I question that as a possibility. I think that was the right move, but
We're afraid of fear itself. Oh, do you ever teach her Oaken summons? No.
Pay attention, class.
well, you can get the teacher from your Oaken summons.
It's pretty good. Does he end up getting any of the Arcane Tyrants? Does not.
Did not.
That deckhand's not going to find any value off of that Cobalt. That's kind of poo.
No. The draws for Steffi have been lackluster at best, and
They haven't been
Suzuru's
great.
in a good spot right here. The Savage Roar's on board now. He's got Savage Roar plus Leroy. Just quick math, 3, 6. Well, 1/5 is going to die this turn for sure. So 3. It's very close to lethal.
Yeah. Very, very close. Depends if he picks up another Savage Roar. Then with the swipe in hand, that could be very, very lethal.
Yeah, you'd be 3 off at this point. Well, 2 off now that she's used her face to clear. Oh no.
That is fine, but the swipe's going to get a lot of work in.
Yeah, that swipe is just going to clear the board. Those things are going to stick, and Savage Roar, and... Oof. Savage Roar's not coming down this turn, but that's just more minions for it to eventually hit.
I like teacher swipe hero power. It's fine.
Oh yeah, I think that's absolutely right.
Like, there's just no punish to that line. And then with the swipe, the Savage Roar and Leroy, you just push lethal the next turn.
Yeah, Suzuru definitely has the upper hand right now. And as we know, Steffi with Baku, no combo potential, just not in a good spot.
Wait, is this lethal? Did we just miss lethal? Or is it so close that Suzuru just doesn't even care?
It's so close. He's going to be 1 shy if he sends it all face, which he won't. But he's got, even after taking face damage, 23 health effective with the armor. That it doesn't even matter at this point, I don't think.
Yeah. Yeah, Leroy's just lethal. And as we said, Rogue doesn't run taunts. It doesn't run heals. That's just...
And Suzuru is a player that knows that fact.
Yep. We'll go ahead and, just give him the win now. Hey, 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 hey. Oh, playing the Baku.
Baku is the new pinging your own face.
So Team
Suzuru,
Next Level is
Team
going
Next
to
Level.
take a huge lead, a 3-1 win for Suzuru and Team Next Level over Steffi. That is insane. So congratulations, Suzuru. Can we reach out to him for getting him on for a quick interview?
Absolutely.
Because it's really late, and Darkseid's not as old as Donde, but still tired. Oh boy, that was a series. Donde, you said I was going to 5.
You know what? It only went 4, but it was an exciting 4, and I think that's what we were hoping for. Was a couple exciting series tonight, which we definitely got.
Yeah, and it was technically It was technically sound playing from both sides.
Yeah, there were a few moments where we questioned plays, and of course there's always multiple lines, and there isn't always one specifically right play. So it was played well.
There was nothing that should have been punished that wasn't. Just waiting on the young buck Suzuru. I don't even know if he's young, but
I think he's younger than either of us. He's
Well,
gonna be up for like 3 or 4 more hours. He's going out partying after this for sure.
he's definitely younger than you.
Ouch.
Sorry, Gramps. Aren't you like old enough to be my dad? There is a player in this league legitimately old enough to be my dad, and that is Jim Phylos from Board Resistance Fighters. Dude's a grandpa, and he's a Hearthstone killer. He's a god. Oh, someone's saying, "Oh, Donde."
Just waiting for him to grab my friend request in Discord so I can invite him in.
Oh, Donde. Whatever Donde did wrong, Saku, I agree.
What did I do? I must have said something.
But while we're waiting, I'll take another shameless plug at Darkstone. That's going to be announced. We're going to get some banned cards out of there. The community already voted to ban some cards. I'm going to reveal those on Monday. We get Brewski ban a card for going undefeated in in Rags League. Alien Santa got to ban a card for being Sylv MVP. I gave a ban to the Boars for winning the Sylvanas League Championship. Icon volunteered to help me run the tournament on Saturday and to cast, so I gave him a ban as a thank you. So he got a ban, and I'm going to take a ban, and the Ragnaros League champs are going to take a ban. So we're going to have like 10 cards banned in total. And this, unlike the last Darkstone where we did this, where it was invite only for the band tournament, this is going to be open to everyone. So there'll be a Battlefly link coming probably Monday or Tuesday. Oh, is Suzuru in with us? We're dialing him up.
Hello.
Oh, Suzuru,
Suzuru.
you're with Darkside and Donde. How's it going, man?
Hey guys, all right. I'm doing all right.
Congratulations on the win.
Thanks.
Pretty huge.
So I think you know we're gonna ask you about that shaman deck.
Yeah, that's gonna happen.
Sure.
So what was your thought process?
What
when
is
you were
it?
building that deck?
Okay. Well, it's like an anti-aggro Shutterwalk shaman, and my thought process was pretty much that I kind of wanted to be able to cover all of my bases with the classes that she brought, and I thought that it was a really good way to do that because it could beat pretty much every mage that she could bring, maybe except for some crazy elemental thing or something, and really. But Shutterwalk beats the control mage, and the anti-aggro version ends up being pretty good against all of the aggressive decks. Surprise. It was pretty close to like a deck that Rage played at the beginning of the season. It's just kind of like better than any of mine were at doing the job, so I used that one.
It was definitely something that neither of us had seen before.
Yeah. Is the unstable evolution there for corridor creepers or wild pyro or both?
It's there for the creeper, the pyro, the bog shaper, and sometimes the Serenites. Like, you can just win with tempo, but mostly it's there to like draw cards with bog shaper in long matchups and in short ones to kind of give you more stuff to fight for the board.
I don't think
Yes.
we even saw Bog Shaper in that matchup. I don't remember that you drew. Did you have 1 or 2 copies of the deck?
One copy. There was originally a second copy, but I thought that'd be too slow, so I swapped it for some Acolyte of Pains.
See, I feel comfortable asking you all these questions now because you've got nothing left in this meta as far as season play is concerned. So you can give us all your secrets right now, which I love it.
I can too, because like I don't know. Most of the time, everybody yells at me to play normal stuff. But
Well, let them
everybody's
keep
been
yelling
coming
because you're
around.
6-1. You're 6-1 this season, so They can say whatever they want, but you've been
Nah,
constantly carrying this team.
they've been great.
Wait. Does
No.
everybody yell at you to play normal stuff, or does just Casey yell at you to play normal stuff?
Ooh. I have no comment there.
we spent a season with Next Level, and believe me, I took a lot of joy in just making Casey so aggravated with just off the wall stuff that I would post but had no intentions on playing. It was one of the highlights of my season.
Nah, the
It was great messing with Casey because he'd always get a little worked up about it. He's like, just stick to the good stuff. I'm like, I don't know, man. This deck's pretty good.
it's I mean, I have like a philosophy about this format, but I don't want to share that right now. Give anybody ideas, but it was it's good to have grounders. Like, some of the stuff that I propose is definitely just bad, and then with the rest of the team, I can like compare it to what's gonna be good and then play that.
I think every team needs that one guy that's willing to go off the wall. And I mean, if you're that person, just know that you're going to get that pushback, I guess. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not that person personally, but
Oh yeah, I'm
you know.
thrilled to have it. Makes me a better player.
Everyone
Good to have
also
fun
needs
with it.
that player like Casey that's going to pull those guys in.
Yeah,
right?
that's what I mean. It's good to have grounders. Like,
Yeah.
100%.
If we didn't have MMI this season, man, I would have played some stuff.
let's not bring MMI up because he'll remind us of how the 1 week he was not consulting with us, we got bounced from the playoffs. But that's not here or there. So I got to ask you, Caesar, you joined the team midway through the season. Who was it? Jammies that reached out to you, or what was your connection to the team that brought you into the team?
I think the first person that reached out to me was actually Casey, if I'm not mistaken. But I just like I got wind from like a small stream that THL was even a thing, but it was like right up a lot. It was gonna be starting soon. It didn't seem like I was gonna get to play, so I just kind of like joined the group and figured I'd help them out and stuff. And then
So just coming right into
Then I
THL
got
and
to
into a
play.
championship game.
I mean, I
Easy.
guess so.
Yeah, that's I mean that's how you draw it up, I guess. Is
I originally wanted to like come and like bring my own team of people to play, but like I did some research into how it worked and seen that was impossible. But I'm pretty happy that I got to play with these guys. They're pretty cool.
It's not always impossible to bring your own people. You just got to make sure you have a good range of people. You can't just bring like 5 legend dudes in.
Oh no, yeah. There's like another gaming Discord that I'm a part of.
Yeah.
It's like a Cold Brew Gaming, and we have a bunch of people who play a bunch of games at all different levels. Like
We need captains, man. So and as one.
but... Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, yeah, but we need captains, and as a first-time captain, it's awesome. So definitely consider it.
Yeah, the registration for it was closed. And also, I kind of like playing with the TNL guys. So
I don't
know. I'll think about it, but
Well,
if
for
I get
next
to play with
season, it
you guys,
hasn't
I
opened
kinda
yet.
want to.
Yeah, we don't need to get any free agent information right
Yeah.
here, right now. You don't have to give away any of that.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, congrats again. A huge win. Not only to just win, but to take it 3-1, get that bonus point is huge.
Huge.
Is there anything else you'd like to say? Obviously, there's 4 matches left to go potentially. Any smack talk you want to throw down? Any predictions you want to make? Anything at all? Go right ahead. The floor's yours.
I mean, I don't really see the point in smack talking when we're gonna win, but
Oh, there we go.
I was gonna say, you realize you're talking to Dark Side here, and he doesn't see the point in not smack talking, but that
Oh.
was nice. I like that.
My smack talking gets me into so much trouble, dude.
I mean, I just like missed lethal and still won, right? That's pretty.
Oh wait, where'd you miss lethal?
If you missed it, we missed it. So
The last druid game, the Leroy Saboteur hero power kills her the turn before. I kind of forgot that
with 11 mana though,
the +2. Leroy
had been
Leroy's
5 mana
right?
for a long time, my
Saboteur's
friend.
Is it 6?
Oh,
Maybe
Leroy's
I
5.
missed it.
Is it 5? Oh my god, I'm
Yeah,
so
yeah,
tired
yeah.
right now.
Yeah,
I've
no,
been
I
awake
feel, I
for
feel
like
that.
22 hours.
So I
Never
need to
mind.
cut Donde right now. But yeah, oh man.
Just feel free to ignore me.
You know what's really funny
at
is
all times.
I raged the first game I casted because there was a missed like a bad misplay that could have been punished and wasn't. And like if there was a missed lethal that could have been punished, I might have lost my mind. So there was a missed lethal that couldn't have been punished, and I didn't get to lose my mind at it. Feels bad.
I don't know if it could have been punished, but
No,
feel free
there's
to lose your mind.
no, there's no way it could have been punished because like how does Rogue even punish that? Right? You got her to like what, like 5 health. What does she do? Like Rogue doesn't taunt or heal.
Yeah, I think there were some Tar Creepers in that deck, but
Really?
yeah, I don't know. I thought I saw one. I'm kind of out of it, but
Leave Tar Creepers out of my aggro decks, please.
And there's been a bit of a revolution as far as people on VS talking about Tar Creepers not having place in aggro decks, so that is certainly a point of contention lately.
I agree. They do not have a place in aggro decks. I'd rather play a Naked Gluttonous who's in an aggro deck than a Tar Creeper. That's just
Well,
me, though.
you heard it here first. Darkseid would rather play naked.
Yes.
oh, I mean, wouldn't we all?
Yes. All right. Well, it's about that time where the old men like us are getting silly because we're tired. So,
Yeah.
congratulations again on the win, and I hope
Thanks
Team Next
for
Level can
having
pull
me
this
here.
out.
I mean, they can. They pretty much. I don't know. We all prepared like together, and they're all.
Yep. Team Next Level does their preparation. We'll give it that. Me and Donde. Well, I played for Next Level last season, and Donde was just kind of there, being annoying. He didn't play for us, but
That's good that there's some. What are those called? The
lurkers.
Support members.
No. What is it
No.
called for like a college? Somebody like you're going back. Never mind.
Like a shadow.
Too much wizard poker for me.
Yeah, I don't know. Donde was that guy.
Yep, that's me all over.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on.
Yeah, thanks for coming on. Great matches tonight, and good luck to you guys the rest of the way.
All right, thanks for having me.
All right, so that's going to do it for this episode of Friday Night Fights. Donde's older than me, so he's definitely way past his bedtime.
Yeah, I mean, I got some quests to clear, so I got to take care of that first, but there's a good chance I just fall asleep right in the middle of it.
Oh, man, I've done that so many times. Playing Hearthstone on my phone, in my bed, just zonk out. All right.
Well, we hope everybody joins us again. We'll have more matches tomorrow and Sunday. Both days are going to have finals matches, 2 on each of them, so plenty more to go, and we hope everybody comes back.
Yeah, let's hope that Vote of No Confidence can make this an interesting series. It'd be nice for the last match on Sunday to matter.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's going to do it. I'm going to be cutting the stream. Everybody have a good night.
Have a good night, everyone.